Hello and welcome to another MILSURP HQ podcast. I'm Tom, and as always, I'm joined by the Sideburn King, Kelly. What's up?
How's it going? Coming to you from the West Coast this time. Not my
Ooh,
usual middle of the country.
that is the worst of the two coasts, just telling you.
Yeah, not a good time zone either.
Nope. Well, speaking of time zones, this is the most depressing time of the year for us Americans over here on the East Coast, because when daylight savings kicks in, it's dark by the time I get out of work, and when I leave early, it's dark when I'm leaving. So it's a miserable time, but nothing puts me in a better mood than discussing MILSURP firearms with other crazy collectors. So, well, actually, almost nothing. I could think of a few things that are actually better, but I'll, I'll rephrase
We'll
that.
save those for later.
Yeah, almost nothing puts me in a better mood than discussing MILSURP firearms. And so today we've got ourselves another roundtable of great collectors and pals of ours to come on and do that. So let's talk about some topics of the month. And Kelly, why don't you introduce who's here?
All right, so we have 4 guests this time. We got a couple of guys that we've had on before. We have Adirondack and Tenacious Trilobite. You might know him from his YouTube channel. Thank you all for joining.
Thanks for having me.
And then we have a couple of new guys this time around. We have Mark, aka Cruxter. Y'all might know him from some of his other social media posts, and Verda. Thank you all for joining as well.
Yep, thank you.
Yep, thanks for having me.
And the 2 questions we like to ask our new guests for each time they join is, what kind of collector are you, and what is the next thing you're looking for your collection? So we'll start with you, Mark.
All right, so predominantly I'm a time period country collector. As my primary focus of collecting stuff is Polish firearms from the Second Republic, so 1918 to 1939 time period. And to be completely honest, the only reason I'm interested in that stuff at all is because of my heritage. As these are rather uncommon and always seem to fetch a super high price whenever they come up for sale. So as a result, like, I have been expanding my horizons, and there's some other side interest stuff I kind of dabble into. So like World War One era stuff from like Imperial Germany and Austro-Hungarian Empire. And if the price is good, I do like collecting those wacky, uniquely designed 32 pistols from, before the standard design of a semi-automatic pistol was nailed down. So if it looks interesting and cool and it's cheap, I try to pick one up.
Very nice. Oh yeah, I love all the funky 32s. And man, Poland's a hard one to be stuck with. Too bad you
Yeah.
didn't have Yugoslavian heritage or something.
And being emotionally tied to it is a blessing and a curse because of what you said, the prices for that. You're paying premiums, but it's your heritage. I get it.
Yeah,
All
why,
right.
why couldn't I have
Milsurp,
Yugo
where everything
heritage?
gets more expensive.
Yeah. All right, and we'll go on to Verdha. Same questions for you. What kind of collector are you, and what are you looking for next?
I mean, I'd say I delved into a little bit of everything. If there's, I guess any particular area of interest I actually devote some energy and effort to would be Japanese Arasakas, Yugoslav Milsurp, and I guess shifting towards trying to focus on Milsurps from the Pacific Theater and CBI Theater.
Cool.
Yep.
Nice.
And
That's a good
I
spread.
guess if I had to pick the next Milsurp I'm trying to hunt down, I think I'd have to pick something along the lines of like a Type 44 carbine.
Nice.
Ooh, I got one of those on the list as well.
Me too.
Yeah, the hard part is trying to find one that's not totally mismatched.
Yeah.
Good luck.
They had a rough life.
Yes, they sure did.
Hey, Mark, what percentage of your firearms are Polish? Out of curiosity.
I'd say 50% at this point.
Wow, I would have thought you were much higher based on what I've seen, the good shit you have. But hey, you're really spreading it out then.
I will admit it kind of gets boring after a while. It's nice to spice things up.
Yep. All right, that was the two guys, right?
No,
All
that
right.
was our two new ones.
The two new guys.
That do be the newbies.
All right, so speaking of getting stuff, before we get into our topics of the day, we'll get into one of the favorites of mine is finding out what you all picked up recently. So let's say the last month or so, let's share some of our recent pickups. And I will share mine quick because it's probably the most boring of all. But I picked up this 22 German rifle that has German proof marks, but no other markings except on the stock. It says Hindenburg.
Kind of neat. Where'd you
Yeah,
find that?
Those are cool.
Yeah, just an auction site that was, and it was just listed as German 22. So I was thinking, oh, I might have a steal here because, you know, they didn't put any details, and that's because there were no details.
They were right.
Yep, it is. But I like these because they're full, you know, full stock down to the front. The other, you know, a lot of the other ones, like the Mauser ones, are half stock. This is like a nice little military guy. But
Cheap
that's
to shoot too.
yeah. Oh, and this is not a MILSURP per se, but I picked up another two Paris done training rifles, and I could do a whole show on the history of these things for some reason. They have such a wide variety, but they were wooden training rifles that were used literally for World War II training for a period. And then they made so much money that they decided to make it to a commercial version, and that's where we get to these ones down here. So they're marked dummy training rifles, Mark Ones. So they're cheap and they're a little bit of history. So that's my pickups of the month. Nothing exciting.
It's kind of neat. I didn't know they had so many different ones.
Yeah, they have bayonet lugs and fake bullets on them and all sorts of features that I don't know if they help train, but the main thing was they're the size of the 1903s. You could see soldier got used
Well,
to carrying it around.
maybe not the fourth one.
Right. No, that's they opened them up to cadets and training school academies around the country. So they made them all shapes and sizes. All right. That's all for me. What about you guys?
I'll let the others go first. I have several. I've had a busy couple of months.
All right. Who got this thing?
All right, that's me. So, I got a couple of things here. So it's been a bad month for the wallet, but a good one for the collection, let's say. So this one over here, not sure if people are going to be able to see it later. It's a commercial Sauer 1913, one of those 32 pocket pistols. And yeah, it was totally an impulse buy for me because it was priced rather cheap and it kind of fit the category of one of those wacky looking 32 pocket pistols because it
It
kind
looks
of looked like
awesome.
something. What's that?
It looks awesome. I like the way it looks.
Yeah, yeah. It would be even better if it had like, an Imperial German like acceptance proof, but it's pure commercial, which is fine. I mean, and the thing that I love about it is like if you just like stuck on some bits and bobs on it, it will totally look like a blaster from like Star Wars or something.
Yep.
But these they feel like really small in the hand, like my pinky like just doesn't even touch it like when I grip it, but it's got like that beaver tail or whatever in the back, and it feels not that bad.
Wow. Yeah, I was going to say it looks like a little space ray gun or some shit.
I
Yeah.
know, right? Yeah, that's also the reason why I got the what is it, the Savage 1907, because it kind of looks the same way too. It looks like a ray gun.
Oh yeah, the Art Deco style.
Yeah, those are cool. All right, I think. Oh yeah, the next one here
Oh my
from
gosh.
our friend Dusky, right? So yeah, this is a Prussian contract C96 Red 9, and of course it is refinished, but it is legitimate. I had a couple folks, make sure that was the case. So it's got like the Prussian markings, on the like internal magazine, like front cover thing. It's got the correct graduations for the rear sight. It's in the right serial number range and all that. The one thing that sucks is it does have a trigger reset issue. So the sear has some issues with it that I'm Actually gonna have to send out to a gunsmith to go take a look at, because I kind of want this thing to be in tip-top condition before I put some rounds downrange. Because yeah, these things are kind of a basket case to make sure that they get running right. So I don't want to, mess it up any more than it already is. Like I separated the lockwork from it to do like a quick inspection, and the sear just kind of fell out, and I'm like, oh, that's not supposed to happen. And that explains why like the trigger on it is like really uh mushy, and it doesn't reset when you cycle the action.
And then it's YouTube, how to put sear back into C96.
Throw money at it.
It's like shit. But
Yeah,
boy,
they're
Red 9,
cool. They're
nice.
cool looking guns.
And that's another space gun,
Yeah.
sure. Han Solo.
All
And then
right.
this
So
boy.
yeah, the last two items, I swear there's only two more. These I got from a longtime collector I was talking to on the K98K forum. He's been collecting Polish stuff for like decades, and he's been like chatting with me about stuff like, whenever something comes up on like Gunbroker or whatever, and we just kind of like critique it. So he just kind of drops me a line that, hey, I'm liquidating most of my collection, and I'm going to be like focusing in on something like super esoteric. And I'm like, okay, man, whatever. You do your thing. But he was like, hey, do you want to have first dibs on some of this stuff? And I was like, okay, sure. So one of the things that he had up for sale was this Polish rework of a French Berthier M16 long rifle. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm really bad with the French stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so
The
it's
M16. But it's a Polish rework, you said?
yeah. So
Wow.
it's all matching except the magazine, which has the original like French number. So what the Poles did is they like scrubbed off all those like, fancy cursive French, serial numbers that are like impossible to read if it's like, an F or an S or whatever. And they just put like blocky numbers on there, which are easier to read.
Oh, wow.
They put a Polish rework stamps on the receiver and the barrel. There's a little Polish eagle on top of the receiver. And then there's like a refurbishment stamp on the stock, which is pretty nice. And a lot of the ones that come out of the Spanish Civil War import from Inner Arms, from Spain in the 50s and 60s, they're typically like mismatched parts. Like the
Yeah.
stocks are like refinished, sanded, and bleached, and it's like been reblued again. But this one is in like pretty nice original condition. So I was pretty happy to get that one. So I just need to find 8mm label for cheap.
What
um,
Yeah, good
and
luck with that.
and how did Poland get this?
okay, so like basically once they reemerged as a country, like after the Treaty of Versailles and the borders were drawn up, they were basically like, oh shit, like, we've got unfriendly folks on all sides. We're just going to take everything we can get at this point. They set up a purchase mission in Paris in, I think it was like 1919 to 1920 something, and they just basically bought like anything that they could get their hands on. Like they bought tens of thousands of French rifles. They even bought like scrapped like rifle, or they bought broken rifles for parts, and they just paid for it like by weight and scrap just to like get all the spare parts for them. And they just like threw those together and reissued them before uh and this was before they got like their domestic like arms production like up and running. So they had everything. They had French rifles, they had Mannlichers, they had, regular Mosin Nagants. I even saw that they had British pattern 14 rifles as well. And
Jeez.
of course like German stuff. Like it was all over the place. And basically, what happened is they used these in the Polish-Soviet War, and then afterwards, once like Mauser started to get cranking out, they put these in like rear line use, and then eventually they just sold them to Spain because Spain was like, "Hey, we'll give you money for arms," and they just let them go.
Wow, that's so that thing could have such a rich history.
Yeah,
From
for sure.
could have been in the First World War, and then all through into the Second one. Wow.
I mean,
Yeah,
hey,
man.
old guns just get around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the Spanish, they aren't they always scrubbed? So they scrub them again.
Yeah. Oh
Yes.
boy.
I only have
And
one more for you here.
yeah, this
Well,
is my last one. I promise, guys. So this is a another Polish touched gun. It's the WZ-91/98/26. It's a 8 millimeter Mauser conversion of Imperial Russian M91 Mosin Nagant. So
sick.
the WZ-91 is, M91. 98 means it was converted to like the 1898 pattern to shoot 8 millimeter Mauser, and then the /26 is for um the year, like, configuration sort of thing. Like there was a 23, a 25, and a 26. So this is like the last iteration. So honestly, this is a rifle I never really spent any time trying to chase down because I, I thought I'd never get a chance to get one because they kind of go for stupid, insane prices online, and like everybody wants one. So when I got offered this one at, let's say, like a comparatively buddy price, I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna jump on this. So I sold off some stuff to help pay for this one, and yeah, that's kind of how it transpired. And this one was converted by Arma Lvov,
Wow.
which is like one of the two factories that did it. It's kind of interesting because it doesn't have a refurbishment that was done in the 30s to change those sling slots to Mauser 98 sling swivels, which kind of makes that
Right.
unique. It's not in the best shape, and it's got like a pretty bad crack in it, like from the ting of the receiver kind of going, you know, long ways like down the stock, but it is matching, and you really can't beat that. So I was like pretty fortunate to add that to the collection, and I
Damn.
just figure like if I do want to shoot it, I'll just get like a cheap like sporter stock and just do some inletting work and slap that on and shoot it. But it's yeah, it's a unicorn for sure.
I like when things like that fall in your lap. You didn't sweat it. You didn't look for it and pine over it for years. You
Yeah,
know.
I know. Like you guys were saying, I had like one or two items on my like wish list for this year, and it's like I just kept seeing other things just fall into my lap. So I'm like, well, I'll get that.
Can't
All
say no
right.
to a good deal.
Yeah. So that's it. I'm on a self-imposed hiatus for the near future, unless I
Yeah.
sell some stuff off. Because the agreement I have with the missus is if the rifle doesn't have a spot in my rifle cabinets, something's got to go to take its place. Because I have been in the doghouse when she caught me like double stacking rifles, trying to make, doing some Jenga action to make something work. So yeah. All
Yeah.
right, that's it for me.
Been there. Been there.
Oh, the struggle of all gun owners. We don't have enough room.
More
True.
physical space.
Yes.
All right. Next up
All right,
is
this one's
a
me.
beauty. What the?
Yeah, kind of a weirdie too. I haven't quite fully identified it, but I also had a relatively expensive month. This is a U.S. Model 1896 Krag with a Cataract Tool and Optical Company scope on it. So I've been trying to figure out when this was put together and for what reason. There were some sniper trials the U.S. did with Cataract Tool Company scopes. This is not one of those guns.
And
This scope,
do you think it's period correct for sure, or you're on the fence?
I think so. So Cataract Tool went out of business in 1901, and they were bought out in 1902. So it's no later than 1901. And then this scope seems to it has hand stamped markings, and then most of the production scopes were blued steel instead of this brass tube.
You had me at they went out of business in 1901.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of narrows it down.
Yeah. They went into business in I think 1895 to 1901. Um,
But
so
that I don't know if I've ever seen this except like in a video game or something. This
yeah, this
style of Craig.
I,
Jeez.
I can't find any others with this exact mount. Um, their mounts are usually side mounts, and then I think this scope is probably a prototype. It matches their patent drawing, and it doesn't match anything from their catalog. Um,
Well, that certainly makes it pretty awesome.
yeah, so I'll probably never really know exactly what it is. It looks pretty cool. It's just a simple crosshair. It's really dim, crappy optic, but
What's the power, the magnification?
it took me a while to figure that out. I basically had to take a variable zoom scope, a more modern one, and then kind of dial it in until I could see with them like binoculars. And it's somewhere around 5.5 power, which is not any. They didn't offer that in any of their models in the catalog. So I really am leaning towards like pre-production or something.
Hmm.
And then to add even more mystery to it, the base rifle is actually an SRS hit for the Illinois National Guard in 1899.
Oh,
And
nice.
this was probably not on there when they got issued that rifle. So it's probably in 1900, 1901 this was put together. That's about all I know for now.
Man.
Did the company's name sink them?
It could be. There was some debate about that. I had to talk to some of the New Yorkers around here. Apparently, cataract is also a term for like something related to waterfalls, and they were from Buffalo, so we decided that was probably the meaning instead of what we now know.
It's crazy how far back that lens sits. Like, how's the ergonomics on that?
It's surprisingly decent. Like if you tried a PU scope, it's kind of the same chin weld you get there.
Right.
And then the
Wow,
eye
it is
relief is
far.
like non-existent. So you really need some. I shot it a little bit. You do need eye pro for it because it smacks you right in the face. But
That's pretty cool.
And then I see this guy.
oh
this
yeah,
is-
that is a.
I've only seen you with old shit, like old rifles, never revolvers or pistols even.
I dabble in the pistols a little bit. I've never been super big on revolvers. More like I don't know. Mechanically, they don't interest me that much, but like time periods. So I had a bit of a detective thing going on with this one.
Yeah,
This is
it's
a really early detective special. It's in 1930. I think they started offering them in 1927. And then early on into production, I think 6 years into production, they started rounding off the butt. So the early ones are known as square butts.
Yeah, what is that little stripper clip thing there? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's well, that's. I bought that a while ago. I'm a little disappointed. And actually, I took this picture before I realized that actually is an early speed loader. It's one of the only ones that was contemporary to this revolver. So most speed loaders we know today for revolvers came about in like the 60s or 70s. So by the 1920s, 30s, the only ones around were basically the Prideaux. There was one the U.S. Navy was experimenting with in the 1880s and 90s. And then there's this one, which is the revolver cartridge clip corp clip, which you kind of stick in and then pull off from the side.
Yeah, I could see how I could see that. Like it's like a case holder.
Yeah, yep. And they're kind of cool too. There's a spring-loaded hinge in the middle, so it lays flat when you have it in a pouch under your hip. Then it like springs into the shape. Unfortunately, it does not work in the detective special. It interferes with the grip, so it took me forever to find one of them in an auction somewhere. I just had auction alerts set up for 38 speed loader for months, and then one finally popped up.
And then did you almost buy the gun because you had the speed loader?
Well, I knew I wanted the detective special, so I've been looking for those for a while, and I was like, I better start looking for a speed loader now because it's going to be harder to find than a detective special.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's so sad when that didn't work. So this picture is a little. There's the inside joke of that speed loader next to it doesn't actually work in it.
Sad. I'm gonna put a comment if you post it. I'm gonna put a comment. That doesn't, that it doesn't actually work in there.
Yeah, I wanted to
Okay.
film it so bad at that speed loader. I was like, I actually did the research. I'm gonna find one that made sense for the time period, and then it just
You
doesn't.
need a cursed speed loader video.
Yeah, you can kind of do it with like pairs of rounds. So if you stick two in and then pull them off, and two in, pull them off, then the last two, it works okay, but it's just not the same.
Sad. And
All right,
then
then we get to the Tulsa
I almost got one of
guns.
these. Oh,
You
Tulsa.
you should get one of these. They're cool. I keep telling people to get them while they're relatively cheap and unknown. This is a Indonesian 303 converted Dutch Mannlicher carbine. They just take normal Dutch Mannlicher clips for the 6.5 Dutch rifles, but it's in 303 British, so it's way more shootable. The Indonesians added a muzzle brake to the end of the carbine variants, and it's actually set up to take SVT bayonets.
Whoa,
Cool.
that's a weird combo.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. I remember hearing about that.
That sounds like such a steampunk combination of features.
yeah, it shoots surprisingly
it.
well too.
It looks steampunky. It looks another space gun or something.
Yeah, and then
Wow.
I think the oddities are coming up. I had some fun facts after I fired this one. The brass looks kind of interesting because of the way they did the conversion. But yeah,
That looks
I
fun.
had
This one.
they had a short rifle version of it as well that I owned one of those previously, but I ended up selling it because it had this really gnarly rubber butt pad on the back that was kind of grossing me out. But I think I like this one better.
Yeah, you
Were
don't want to be
these
grossed out.
entirely? Oh, sorry.
No, okay.
Were these entirely done by the Indonesians, or was it partially a Dutch conversion?
I think the Indonesians handled this. I don't know if they had like an outside firm do them for them because they're like professionally done conversions. But the base rifles are, I believe, all KNIL or East Indies rifles that they had previously when they were the Dutch East Indies. But they didn't have a peaceful separation, so I'm guessing
Oh
the
no.
Dutch weren't really willing to convert these for them.
Oh yeah.
I think these were all got left there, kind of thing.
Yeah, so
These are
these
great.
conversions were done like the first half of the 50s, I think. This one's a 1953 dated one.
I was going to get one, but then it was so cheap. And then you hear about the nil and Indonesia, you're like, maybe it's because they're kept in horrible conditions or something.
Well, yeah, you
I
do have to be
chickened out.
careful. You need to look at the bores. So I probably wouldn't buy one of these online unless they had a picture of the bore because some of them are just so rotted out they're basically smooth bores at this point.
I bet.
Yeah, most of them you see are in really rough shape.
Yeah.
Yep. But they look cool, so that almost tempt me to buy it, knowing I'm not shooting it.
Yeah,
You know.
I definitely keep an eye out for them because they seem like sturdy conversions, and they're pretty easy to shoot 303 British.
Yep.
It's hard to shoot Dutch Mannlichers otherwise.
Ah, there we go.
Look at that.
Yeah, everyone knows that one. That's the good old M1 carbine. I wanted a Rockola M1 for a long time.
Oh, Rockola, nice.
Yeah, the jukebox connection. And then
Yep.
I saw one for it. It wasn't a steal. It was just an okay price at Tulsa, and I went for it.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, there's a ton there.
yeah, well, yeah, spoiled for choice there. Not
Yeah, I
spoiled
remember
for
there's
price.
probably at least 201 carbines last time I went.
Oh yeah,
Whoa.
just tables full of them.
But this not only Rockola, but it's got the nice the flip. It's got the eye oiler over there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's
pretty
still
cool.
in the World War II config. That is
Nice.
nice.
I think it's probably corrected, quote unquote,
Uh-oh.
but I'm fine with that.
Who is this?
Oh,
Oh,
I
past
think
Oh,
it's
the
that's
one
me
on
now.
the beach.
That
How
is-
cruel.
Kelly.
So yeah, I've also had a busy month. It seems like tis the season for it.
Well,
So-
keep in mind, guys, wait, that I bought a 22 and a toy. So look what you guys got. You guys are crazy.
You gotta keep
Yeah,
up.
you need to keep up with that.
I know.
Oh, wait,
Jeez.
there's more.
All right,
So
go.
I finally checked a big box for my World War I collection, a U.S. handgun. This is a Smith & Wesson 1917, and this one is it's pretty much exactly what I wanted. It's all correct. It's has the acceptance stance. It has a U.S. Army Model 1917 on the butt. The
That's my
serial dates
favorite.
to
These
yeah,
markings are
it's
my favorite.
gorgeous.
I love that.
It's got the lanyard loop that you can see there. They often are missing those because like recreational shooters didn't like having them on there, so they took them off and lost them. But it has that. It dates to July 1918, so it has the potential of actually making it over there. And then it just has like a nice, consistent like wear and patina on it that's like perfect. But you can also still see the gorgeous bluing on that, and it shoots great. I already got out to the range last weekend.
Nice.
Luckily, I already
Good.
had some moon clips on hand.
Dang, yours is only a
Awesome.
couple thousand lower than mine.
Yeah, I mean they didn't make too many of them. I think they made a lot more of the Colts, if I remember right.
I want to say they made about like 120,000 out of 150,000 revolver order before the war ended.
Yeah, I know the Colts they went into 1919. I think the Smith & Wessons did stop in 18.
I want to say they assembled like incomplete guns through into 1919, but I don't think they built more.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, then Smith had the
Oh, yeah.
weird thing where they were like taken over by the U.S. government in the middle of the war because they had strikes or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, this thing is absolutely gorgeous. Super smooth trigger. The barrel is almost perfect condition. And of course, the accelerated, like, oh, it's got like a 5 out of 10. So yeah, we'll take that.
Nice.
See, and then another big upgrade for the World War One collection I got just this week or last week, this week, something like that. But this is an all original M95 long rifle. Has not been updated to 8x56 and did not come from RTI. So those are the two big things you
Wait
look for
a
on these.
minute. They all
Wait.
come from RTI.
An important
And it came
distinction.
with that. Yeah,
Really
no
has his hand in
action on this
everything.
one. So it's in really rather good shape for one. It has a 1915 acceptance stamp, so it's in pretty good shape for one that went through 100+ years of bullshit. And it has an elm stock, which is correct, and the stock and handguard both match on this one. So it's the original stock and original handguard. Has a unit mark on the stock, and it's an elm stock, which are apparently prone to cracking, according to Aaron from MILSURP World. But not a single crack anywhere on this guy. I've already taken it apart and looked at it. Everything's in great shape. No rust anywhere. Just some
And
patina and dried grease that you can see there.
yeah, and Aaron said so getting hard to find the wartime acceptance one. So that's
Yeah,
awesome. It's up
yeah,
early.
non-updated M95s that aren't from RTI are not easy to come by in the US, at least.
Mm-hmm.
What
So now I
bayonet
get
do you
to-
have on there?
So that bayonet came with it, actually. So it's a
Because I know there's like 5 different kinds of M95 bayonets. There's like an NCO one, a enlisted man one.
yeah. This
Yeah,
is
there's
just a regular.
I have
enlisted
one with
one.
a sight on the ring, like
I think
a
that was
sight leaf.
that was like the Stutzen one or something like that.
And then I have one without that. So yeah.
Yeah, this one's just a standard one. It came with it, but it's in great shape too. And I think it has like a unit mark on the back of it. Not the same unit mark, unfortunately, but it's a rather nice one, just an OEWG marked one. I know there's also like the FGGYs.
And sorry, you said you didn't already have a long rifle 8x50 at all?
No, because these are kind of hard to find. The long rifle 8x50,
Alright.
not from RTI.
Yeah.
And the bore on this one is like one of the nicer MILSURP bores I've seen. Surprisingly, it's like actually shiny and like super clean and sharp rifling.
Credit to you for
So-
not getting it from RTI because the 8x50s were like $150 like last month.
I was so tempted to get one, but I just knew something would disappoint me about it. Like it'd be cracked or the bore would be trash, and then I'd just be out $150. And I mean, they're hard to
those
sell on the
prices
secondary
still
market.
hurt.
Yeah. Good luck.
Those prices
Yeah.
still hurt me.
So I did pay a decent amount for it, but I have an 8x56 long rifle that I can now sell to make up the cost. So basically a free upgrade.
Nice.
Yeah. Sweet.
And then this one is arriving
Cool.
Friday, and it looks like shit in this picture, which is why it's flew under the radar. But I was just browsing random 32 pistols on Gunbroker and found this. I'm like, wow, that looks like shit. Looks like I actually went and did stuff. And then I remembered, oh yeah, there was a Belgian contract for these. I should look at the markings. And what do you know? I go and look next to the serial number, and there's a nice A in the diamond. So this is an actual Belgian contract, Colt 1903, made in 1917.
Nice.
And from the look of it, it more than likely went over there, because they made a bunch of them, and then like Belgium, like I guess they stopped accepting them, or the war ended, or whatever, and a lot got sold onto the U.S. commercial market. So they still have the Belgian mark, but they never actually went over there. And the only way to really tell is to get a Colt letter, which I'm going to do for this one.
Ooh.
But from the look of it, I would put a few dollars on it. Definitely went over there and saw some shit.
Yeah, I'd wager it made it over.
Yeah,
So-
it shot at somebody. I'm getting that look. It's
Yeah.
it's
I think
been there.
I think that rust will clean up pretty well, and I'll have to find a vintage grip to replace that one, obviously. But it looks like a legit Belgian contract Colt 1903, which I love the look of Colt 1903. So this will be a perfect on the World War I wall. So check the box for
Nice.
Belgian pistol. And you missed one, Tom. I had another one this month also.
What else?
I got the German Imperial Accepted Langenhahn semi-auto 32. Basically,
I didn't see that.
it's like a FN 1900 kind of copy, but also kind of different. It's just a simple blowback 32. It's actually a super gorgeous one. I got on the same day I got the 1917, actually, so that was an expensive day. But I got it for the starting bid because no one else bid on it. Same thing for this one. Got it
wow.
for
I like that.
$399.
Some folks get all the
Oh.
luck.
Yeah.
So I've done 3 World War I pistols at a original M95 in just the past month. So it's been
And I
been
saw
pretty
this.
busy.
I saw this
Oh
thing.
yeah, I got that like yesterday. Yeah, I got an
Chris, like-
original World War I sling for my 1903, just to replace the cheap reproduction I had. So now that one got a nice 1918 mark on it. Sling's not in the best condition, but it's only like $50, so I couldn't say no.
Take what you can get.
So a lot of good deals, and I need to stop finding good deals because I can't afford it.
Yeah, right. All right.
Enough of me. Somebody else.
I have
I guess
this
I'll
one.
volunteer.
Right here.
So I actually picked a gun up yesterday.
I'm showing
Uh,
your revolver.
Yeah, so I'm guessing pretty sure most of Discord already knows, but I work at a gun shop, so I had a gentleman show up last week, and they decided to donate a gun because it was their grandfather's or whatever, and said they didn't need any more. Boss called around, and after a couple days, he's going like, "Okay, I don't think I could give this to anybody, so give me $100 and you can have it." So it's like, sure, how can I turn down $100 gun?
And what
So,
is it exactly?
Yeah, so from what I was able to dig up, it's a Smith & Wesson safety hammerless, also commonly nicknamed the lemon squeezer, because the grip safety on it is very similar to how a period lemon squeezing machine worked, apparently.
Whoa, that's cool. I see that grip
Yeah.
back there.
Yeah,
Pretty neat.
yeah. 38 Smith & Wesson was also a nice feature because I actually have the ammo, so that saved me a lot of headache. Otherwise, yeah, neat $100 revolver that I think it's now the oldest gun in my collection because if I read the serial number correctly, it was made in 1894, 1895.
And how's that
That's pretty
trigger
neat.
pull?
Oh gosh, it's horrendous. I think this is the worst revolver trigger I've got so far.
Yeah,
It might not be
it
worse
looks
than
like,
the gun, but it's getting up there.
yeah, it looks like a mile long from the
Yeah.
picture.
It looks
Yeah.
huge, and it's probably got a lot of surface area touching. And
I did not think I could get a double action trigger that was worse than my Smith & Wesson 1917, but this lemon squeezer proved me wrong. And then, yeah, that's the other gun shop deal because
Oh, shit.
apparently someone walked in wanting to sell some guns and they thought Mosins were still cheap. So CNR license in your back pocket comes in handy when someone says, "Hey, I just want $200 for a Mosin."
Yeah. Working at
And
a
then
gun store, it's like the drug addict working at the pharmacy.
Yeah,
Yes
man.
and no. If there's anything I'm thankful for, it's the shop mostly sells new guns, so I rarely get to see nice deals walk through the door. So my wallet appreciates that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a lot of gun stores around here that they have 3 MILSURP a year.
Nice. Nah,
Ugh.
I think there's only like 3 places within like a 40-mile driving radius of mine that actually keep a decent stock in MILSURPs, and unfortunately Cabela's is one of them. But yeah, snagged a Mosin for $200, and then I was very surprised when both the bore was nice and apparently it was one of the Dragoon rifles with a 1930 production year on it, or conversion year if you want to go with that.
Cool.
Yep.
Not bad.
Yep. So those are the 2 recent MILSURPs.
Any Mosin
Unless you
that's
want
not
to be back in
that's
the
under
summer time.
500 is good these days.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't like
Absolutely.
spending more than 5 for a Mosin. Sorry, Mosin.
Yeah, especially when you grow up in the age where you remember buying a Mosin out of Big 5 for like less than $100. Yeah, you don't want to spend that much money on one anymore.
Yeah, that just hurts.
I've
Yeah.
seen all the old ads where they were like $50. Yeah, $49.99. People couldn't get rid of them.
And that would have been expensive compared to the 70s and 80s when you're reading the catalogs and people were able to buy M1 Garands for like $60.
Yeah.
So Adirondack, did you pick up anything?
No new guns, but I just been stocking up on some ammo. I bought a bunch of Bulgarian Silvertip 54R and some of that Greek Mauser or 8mm that's been around. Bought a bunch of that, so nothing exciting really.
Oh, that's nice. You're stocking up for the range. Can you say range? Yes, you can. I said it.
For the
Not saying it. You're gonna mute my channel.
Can I get this canceled?
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that. It's a movie. Avengers. Range.
Stuck up for
Oh,
it.
now we're gonna get copyright infringement.
Yes.
Disney's on you.
Shit, Disney.
Man,
All right.
The Empire Strikes Back on that one.
Going for all the strikes on this video.
All right. So good job with your pickups. You guys really put me to shame. So it's time for the topics of the day, and for in true MILSURP HQ fashion, we have a quick game here called MILSURP Oddities, as the topic is MILSURP Oddities. So that makes sense. Give myself an applause.
Perfect.
So, how this is gonna work. All right. This game, like most of the HU games, is a cool way. I just put shit together so we can share some facts and tidbits that I think are interesting and maybe worth knowing as a collector. So sometimes we keep score and have competitions. We're not gonna keep score today, but this is a quick one here. We're just gonna go through and look at some odd stuff, and we'll see if you know it or not. And let's see. There's no order necessary. All right. So you could shout it out if you know it, and then we could discuss if we know anything about these items, like these weird rounds.
Hey.
There was someone that said they were reloaded incorrectly at the last gun show in KC. But
They're uncircumcised.
It was in the pool for too long.
But these weird rounds get a lot of what the F questions, but are fine. And most likely for this pistol, and I'll describe them. They're rounds where the bullet is fully encased in the casing. And it works for this pistol where the cylinder moves forward when the gun is cocked to close the gap between the cylinder and the barrel.
Did we just shout it out?
Yeah, you could just shout them out.
What is the wheel nugget?
What is the only revolver that you can technically silence, right? That's what
Oh,
everyone
there.
loves to say.
There it is.
The Nagant 1895. And look, some PPU. Yeah, so they're weird looking, but
Yeah, PPUs ammo
1890
actually.
Imperial Russia, where they say we have Schofield at home.
How did they come up with that? There were so many better designs by that time.
Officially designated the 1899 carbine, altered for bayonet. These often faked carbines were made for the Philippines and went by this more popular nickname.
Philippine constabulary.
Constabulary.
See, like
Yeah.
a lot of people get the constabulary part wrong, but yes, very nice. Anyone have
'Cause
one
they
of
were
these things?
I
I
don't
think
know if
Tenacious might have one.
anyone. I don't know if anyone in the U.S. has one.
There was one for sale in the one of the last Morphes, I think it was, but
Yeah, one of the like the foremost Craig collectors in the U.S. on a forum post when he's asked about it said he thinks there might be one in the U.S. that he knows of, but other than that,
I wonder how
maybe
many
that was
people.
it.
fake or it's like a cadet rifle.
Well, now I'm gonna fake one.
There
Yeah, I
you
wonder
go.
how many fakes there are out there. Thousands.
All of them apparently.
Oh, plenty.
All right, so what is this pointy thing? We've had it on our trivias in the past. Does anyone know?
The front
Volley sight.
volley sight non-liquor.
Yeah.
Very nice. It's a pointy point on the side of the barrel band, and it is the 1888 Mannlicher front volley sight. Very nice.
Is this not on the 8890s?
I
No,
think
it
it is
Okay.
because I
where the
think that's what
wizard
I
was.
have. I think that's what I have, and I have it. So, so, but I don't think it goes much further though. All right, designed by Louis Schmeiser. This early 20th century pistol has a weird feature. When the gun was ready to fire, the firing pin projected through the back of the breech block, serving as an early handgun cocking indicator. Ooh. Does anyone know?
Is that well, there's
Drysa?
several. Yeah, there's the Drysa, there's the Roth Krinka does it.
Ah.
It's a Drysa 1907. The Schmeiser. That looks like a fun one too.
Yeah, I have one. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty
Suck-
funky.
I
They got-
hate shooting it, but it looks cool.
I actually really liked shooting mine until it broke.
Oh, did your bolt face blow up?
Yep. I
Oh
got
man.
like 5 rounds and the bolt face blew up.
That sounds like a good feature.
Wow.
And another fun feature of these, no, thank you. Yeah. Another fun feature is they kind of break open like a shotgun. And if you have it cocked, you have to decock it to do it. But if the sear is super worn, you can just hit the takedown lever and it'll drop the striker and shoot it.
Wow.
Sounds safe.
Another Widowmaker. All right.
Surrender pistol.
These rifles, mostly of U.S. manufacture, had an odd nickname during the Spanish Civil War by the men of the Lincoln Battalion, the U.S. volunteers fighting over there, who called them Mexican skis.
Yeah, the Nagants, Mosins.
Yes. So the U.S. called them Mexican skis.
Interesting.
Never heard that.
I think it was
Interesting.
because they came in crates that were labeled from Mexico.
Ah,
Interesting.
interesting.
Hey, the Delisle carbines here. There's often a what the F is that when you talk about these commando carbines that was designed as a suppressed rifle for killing sentries, guard dogs, and the like during the Second World War. And they were made from this rifle receiver, but they were rebarreled and rechambered into this round.
I
So
want to say it was an
SMLE to
receiver.
45, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
out of a 1911 magazine, I think.
Yeah. I wonder if M2
Very
MG has
nice.
this back yet.
so yes, a Lee Enfield, specifically the Mark III stars, they apparently,
Mhm.
and they converted them to 45 ACP.
Naturally
use-
subsonic.
Thompson submachine gun barrels. Those are cool, man. All right, this Charger. What firearm is this old Charger that has a wooden block with a rope attached to 2 bits of metal and 4 large rounds.
Let's see.
Frantic,
Italian
frantic gun,
veteran.
right?
Yeah.
That might be the giveaway.
Frantical gun.
Well, which one is it?
7087, I think.
Oh,
Oh,
By a
This
year
was a
on each.
Beaumont Vitale.
Oh, I was just
Come
going to ask
on.
that actually. I didn't know if the Beaumont had the speed loaders or not.
Oh shit!
Good to know.
yeah. I
Probably
don't know
works in
how
the
to
other
tell
one.
the difference between the 2 clips, between a Federally and a Beaumont clip.
I guess the cartridge.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
necked, right? Well, it looks like it's tapered, but not necked.
I bet you could shape this to fit the other one.
Probably.
Pretty close, yeah.
It's
That was pretty
pliable.
tricky.
Now check out this gun here. These Mexican design bolt action rifles had 3 operation settings: A for safe, L for normal, and R for rapid, which allowed the rifle to fire a cartridge each time the bolt was manually cycled to the closed position, in similar
Whoa.
fashion to the Winchester 1897 slam fire. So it pretty much held the sear down.
What is the Mondragon? The early straight pull
Yeah.
one. Was it a 94? 93, damn it.
93 Mondragon.
It's crazy looking.
That's cool.
Isn't someone doing a video on this?
You gotta
FI
find one
just filmed
first.
A bunch of them.
So first early semi-autos, and now slamfire bolt action. What did Mondragon not do?
Look at that. That's how intricate this thing is. That's awesome. All right. This guy, the first German revolver to be mass produced for modern centerfire cartridges. This pistol has a unique zigzag design on the cylinder.
I only know it as the
That's not the Rex
Mauser
revolver, is
zigzag.
it?
No.
Okay, I don't remember what the designation is for this one.
Is it like C73 or something?
It is a Mauser
Very close.
C78.
We're not doing so good on the numbers.
Yeah. Zigzags.
Apparently we can't math well.
It was the first German revolver to be mass produced for modern centerfire cartridges. So wait, 78.
What was it chambered in?
I don't know. Wish I knew. Something weird.
All right, listeners, tell us what's
That
chambered in.
doesn't narrow it down much.
Wrong
Shit.
answers only.
All right, one more here. New Zealand found itself lacking in light machine guns that would be required for local defense should Japan choose to jump over there and invade. And so in 41, the government funded the development of conversions of these old rifles into semi-automatics, and the result being the Charlton automatic rifle. So what guns were turned into Charlton or Charlton automatic rifles?
I think it's
I want to
SMLEs
say
again,
they're
isn't it?
elite.
Yeah, the
Enfield.
Smellies.
What was
Some-
it?
The Smellies, isn't it? Some steampunk creation they made.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I
what?
want
Medford.
that.
Oh
Dang.
wow.
Lee Metfords.
Oh,
That's where they all went.
Dang it. It's so cool, but so sad.
That's cyberpunky too. These,
it's like something I would do in my garage.
yeah, it's like someone made it in prison or something.
So
It
looking
is
for
a
personal
penal
Owen
colony,
gun.
yeah.
All these Lee Metfords I have in my prison cell.
All right. That's it for the oddity game. We got most of those. We've got to work on our years and stuff because I was trying to guess myself and I was like, is it 78? Is it 79? I'm forgetting. And I put it there, but
Granted,
Getting
people are
old,
cranking
Tom.
out new gun designs like for that entire period of time. So
and there's a billion MILSURP oddities out there that we didn't touch upon, of course. And so I'm going to open some questions up to you guys. So what's something in the MILSURP universe you've seen or possibly have that you would deem weird or odd or, you know, maybe in looks or function or just the fact that it exists?
Yes, I have a picture if you want to go back to the picture things for that brass ahead. I'm putting you on the spot.
I got it here.
It might have been the other link.
You'll get
or
up
maybe
there.
not. Yeah, keep going up. There we go. So that Indonesian 303 conversion, I just thought it was interesting. After I fired it, you can see like the double shoulder there from where they tried to ream the 6.5 Dutch chamber out to 303. I just thought that
Wow.
was really, really interesting that you could see that. And also,
Oh, the
it's,
previous shoulder, yeah.
yeah. And it continues the tradition of almost all 303 rifles of absolutely destroying your brass every time you fire it. So.
Poor 303. That's a pain in the ass to reload.
The Brits were not exactly known for reloading, apparently.
Yeah, SMLE chambers are massive. Ross chambers are ridiculous, and it's got to resize them till they die.
And I'm trying to make some 6.5 Dutch right now, and it's not going great.
Oh yeah, it's high
I've killed a
attrition
few
on that
cases
one.
already.
I think maybe like 60 or 70% of my cases survive that conversion usually.
I have a odd one here. When I first picked up my Peruvian 91 that somebody tried to clean with steel wool, apparently.
Oof.
The side rails marked Argentina 1891. And here's a little vid here.
Oh, that's
Right.
right. They requested those.
So check this out. So what makes this one weird? Now, before I say any facts here, I know people are going to always jump over any facts. I read my books. I have my books. I watch my video. There's only so much I could do before I share it. So I apologize if any facts are wrong. People get very testy. But Argentina had a contract for a bunch of rifles. They couldn't afford them. And so they talked Peru into buying some. They had a common enemy in Chile. So they said, do us a favor, pick these up. And a lot of them were already delivered, which is funny. And they all got sent back to Mauser, and they put on this crest, which is half wiped off now, the Republic of Peru crest. And that's kind of weird in itself. But a number of years later, at a separate time, after they got the 1909 Mausers, they decided to send them back and put on the Langevisier sights. So there's a debate. So there's a debate. Thias mentions it on his video, whether this was done in like the 1910, 1914 time or in the 30s. But at some point, to make it easy for training their soldiers and to keep it consistent, they sent them back and put on the Langevisier sights. This seems like
So
a lot
much
of
effort.
waste of money and effort. Yeah.
And what if they invaded right when you sent them all back?
True. So yeah, it's a big range, 1912, 1934, but it's sometime between the wars. So I get it, but that seems like a lot of waste. So that makes it odd to me.
So I know they converted some of the 1909s to 30-06 later. Did they do that to the 1891s as well?
I don't none that I've seen were in 30-06, and I don't see anything mentioned. I wouldn't be surprised though. But
Yeah, I've never
Most
seen that.
bastardized Mauser.
and apparently the sights were expensive to make. They contracted SIG to make the new barrels and the sights, and it was a decent contract. But Peru was gearing up for war. And the only other weird, odd one I seem to have is a Geha Mauser converted shotgun. And they're just weird because when you take a close look and it's like, what? That's a Mauser? So it's a regular 98 Mauser that after the World War I, the Germans were trying to get some money and jumpstart the firearm industry, and the Versailles Treaty, cut off their balls. So they were trying anything they could. And I believe these were mostly from the same manufacturer. Gotta double check that shit. But they had a few variants. They had a Remo one, a Hardhead Heart one, and mine's just a Geha. And The problem is it's a clipped-on bolt head, as you see here. It just clips in there under the extractor here, like it's not welded or anything. So when you put around it and you extract it, a lot of times the bolt head comes flying out. It's not a good
And
feature.
then they grind off the locking lugs.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Oh yeah. So the issue with the safety, that everyone still says they're safe, but the 12 gauge version has to have the front locking lugs ground down pretty much. I don't think I feel mine at all. So pretty much all the way down. So there's only the bolt handle safety at this point, right?
Yeah, it's the underside one on the.
Oh, and the
98.
side, yeah, the side locking lug, and then
It's a
that's-
safety lug. Yeah.
yeah.
That's the
So
only thing.
A little scary.
that's the scary thing. But the 20 gauge and the 16 gauges apparently have a little bit, but that's not so great either. And current
Things you
shotgun
do-
specs are about 2 times what they were when this came out.
Yeah,
Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I've heard
It
they're
just-
miserable to shoot because they're light.
Oh, I found it. Spandau. Spandau had over 1 million they were looking to get rid of. So most of them are Spandau made Gewehrs that were turned into these cool things. Now I do want to shoot it. I'm a little afraid because of all those things we said, but
I mean, it won't stop you from trying it once.
yeah, I'll get one shot out of it at least.
I shoot mine with birdshot. It does suck to shoot though. It kicks pretty hard.
I'll put a nice light load in there and try it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing I just thought was strange, as always, is the G41 Mauser, which has, of course, a bolt handle,
A backup.
backup bolt handle, as well as it being a semi-automatic rifle. So one of that, for those that don't know, I believe the story is that's what that they asked for that, didn't they? Ask for a way to remove
Yeah, because they didn't trust the semi-auto to actually work as a semi-auto.
yeah, so they wanted some backup way to open it, and Mauser said, "I know
Maybe.
something."
Bowser's like, okay, I guess. And then they're like, nah, that's kind of weird.
Like, wow, this was a terrible idea.
Yeah, and then Walther cheated and came out with a better gun.
By ignoring the rules.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the Walther version versus the Mauser version. Pretty close, but the gas
Yeah, it just
system
looks
of the
like
Mauser caught it up here, right? The gas was caught up front.
Yeah, it just looks like something sat on top of a K98.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they both have the what are those called? The gas trap systems, because one of the other stupid requirements they had is they didn't want any holes drilled in the side of the barrel for a gas system.
Oh, jeez. So yeah, that's my oddities. Anyone have any oddities of their own?
Yeah, I think I got one. Kind of a longer-ish one. I don't know if I have a photo here to share, but obviously it's kind of Polish related. But this is kind of in regards to a particular Polish rifle, kind of in general, not necessarily any features about it, but basically I was trying to figure out like why it existed, and I turned it into like a little research project, just trying to get information on it. So in the mid 1930s, Poland readopted, I should say, a long rifle, the WZ-98A, and that was intended to be the standard arm of its infantry rifle units to replace that WZ-29 short rifle. Now, I'm sure most of you guys know what a WZ-29 looks like, but a WZ-98A essentially is just like a copy of the Gewehr 98M. So if you just want to visualize that, Gewehr 98 long rifle with flat tangent sights, basically.
And
And
this
it's
is
kind of like,
in the 30s,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
that's
and like
so
this
strange.
this made absolutely no sense to me because like every other country in Europe had a short rifle for the infantry, like you name it, like a K98K, WZ-29, or like a Belgian short rifle. kind of design. Like the long rifle concept was basically outclassed from the lessons learned of World War One. So none of the books really kind of that I had on hand really explained why it was adopted. It was just like, well, they had it and they made it. So there was actually a book
That's
that
weird.
recently got published in Polish only. So sorry, guys, that talked about the adoption field trials and service feedback notes on the WZ-29, which started production in 1930. That kind of helped answer this. So
Well, I hope
what I
no one said this is too short. It's too
no.
light and short.
And basically what entailed was within the first couple of years of production, like it was sent out for like shooting schools to do research on and like like optimize it best for like different units. And they found there were loads of issues with the first couple of years of production of that rifle that had to do with the calibration of the sights, kind of related to the test ammo that was used at the factory versus the actual ammo that the military was using. There's some issues with the design of the rear sight, the overall precision of the assembly process, some stock inletting issues, and all this that kind of led to like inaccuracy and wandering zero, like while they were shooting this thing. And they're like, what the hell, guys? We adopted this thing. It's a piece of shit. And this led to the state like funding extensive research to look at ways to like fix that rifle. And by the time it was worked out in 1934, like this is already like 4 years into production that they got this thing like figured out. And basically the army didn't have confidence that they had like a rifle that they could rely on to shoot targets at long range, so they said screw it, we're going to go back to long rifles, like we know how to make them, tried and true. And yeah, that's kind of why they got readopted for rifle squads and support guys. They had the WZ-29s, and I'm
Uh-huh.
sure the infantry didn't like lugging those around. But yeah, that kind of explains why those came out.
So how many were made like during World War II? Then what percentage had that?
Very the long rifles,
Yeah.
like not a lot. So that's kind of the second part of this thing. So these were made 1936 to 1939. They were issued to infantry, and depending on there's like two books that kind of discuss them. One says 44,000 were produced, the other said 77,000, which compared to like German rifles, that's like nothing. Like that's
Right.
that's very little. So I mean, it's a non-zero number. It's still like something, but what's interesting is there are no period photographs of them like at all. Like not in reference books or like photos that I've been looking at online. I even asked some like dudes that collect uh like army photos from before World War II, like in Poland. They're like, yeah, I haven't seen any of those. So I don't know if this was like a big secrecy thing or they just like didn't bother to have them in pictures since they kind of knew that they were going to war like any day now. So I don't know. It's kind of a unexplained mystery still.
Wow.
Yeah.
And right after World War One, they started making their own 98s, right?
Yeah. So what is it? They were able to get the Royal Arsenal of Danzig, like all the tools, machinery, raw materials, and
Cool.
spare parts. They all got all that stuff, but they didn't have the technical data package, the full technical data package for making them themselves, and they didn't have like the experience and skilled labor force to make them. So they're kind of like they made like a crappier version of like what do you call them, like the Kriegsmodell Gewehr 98. Those are like
Okay.
super rare, and they're like super expensive too, but they
They were
weren't that
they were
good.
working shit out.
Yeah, yeah. So they only made those for like 3 years, and there's only like 22,000 made, and I don't know how many exist still, but
But made
there's
on the
that one that
German
we were all
equipment.
talking about that sold for like almost 10 grand. on a gun broker a year or two ago.
Man. But yeah, making them on German machinery is awesome. You know, even
Yeah,
if you screw it up a little bit, it's still quality.
pretty much.
And actually, later on in the mailbag, the question was about making these 98s in the and the question about the 98s in the 30s. That's funny.
Yeah. Oh, did that answer the question?
I believe so. I gotta
Okay.
double check. I believe it's pretty much like, is this true, and why did they do this?
Whoops.
And what's different? So you said what's different is it's like the 98M. So there's no Langevisier sight.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
nice
it looks.
flat
It's
tangent.
just a flat tangent sight. Yeah.
Nice.
And they use the beechwood stock with the dovetail in the back instead of a walnut like the Gewehr 98M would have.
Cool. Oh, here's my odd MILSURP runner-ups. I put my M95M, the way that they redesigned the magazine system's a little weird, and the bolt, and my French Tabatiere Snyder conversion rifle. That thing's strange. The lock system's like 5 pounds. It's crazy. And I'll say at the Type 99 monopod, when you put it out and you open the AA sights, and you look weird when you're doing that by yourself in your room.
At the range.
I find the Vetterli mag conversion strange. The one to the Carcano, when you look down on it, they have the pieces of wood that they just kind of jam back in there. Right on the stock, you see that? A lot of times it's missing, but that's a strange thing. I guess they did what they had to do. My Portuguese Vaquero is just weird. It's a lot of the whole bolt situation. It's so difficult when you take it apart. And then I put my Krag as the feeding system is strange. No matter, it's like no other one I have really. So.
And the Danish crag has a little leg that kind of pokes out and kicks around in.
That's cool.
You
Is
ever
that the
seen
one
one
that
of those?
opens?
Yeah.
It opens the other way.
Yeah, it opens forward.
Yeah, sideways. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. But just having a big giant door on there where you dump rounds in, that's pretty cool. Now, if only
Is
mine
it
had
the
a
Danish
4-foot
ones that
scope.
have a speed loader?
I think it's the Norwegians that have a speed loader.
Okay.
I remember. Yeah, that was cool.
The U.S. did trials with a clip-loaded conversion to the Parkhurst.
So, Trilobite, how many people do you think own 8824s in the U.S.? How many do you think are here?
I don't know. They say 5,000 were made, but I'm not even really sure where that number came from.
Like, the internet, you can only find pictures of, 3 or 4 of them, maybe?
Yeah. So I'd say a couple dozen, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
kinda
It'd
funny
help
that-
if we knew where they were
Wow.
imported from. I don't know who imported them.
Yeah, I don't know. Mine doesn't have any import marks on it, but it's kind of crazy that 2 of the owners are here in this group right now. But yours is a little more original than mine. Mine was a kind of a sporter rescue. I think they're kind of crazy. It's for those that don't know, it's like a 8890 that was converted to 8mm Mauser, just like a M95M. And it's a mystery where they came from for the most part.
And they're marked on the receiver with it too, right?
Yeah, it has a Belgian bead blindy, which is just like a proof mark for nitro and jacketed bullets. So it doesn't really tell you much, but a little bit.
It touched Belgium at some point.
Yeah, it's got a. For some reason, it's got a pre-Spitzer Mosin rear sight too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funky.
All right, and then the rope hole is another weird one in that you could just take a drill and probably fabricate it yourself. but it's true. It's premium, and if you do that, it's a last ditch you're doing it too, which is still kind of cheap. So no, I'm not condoning that. I'm not condoning that.
I've always, I don't have a picture of it, but I've always loved like the intricacy of the French repairs so they did to their stocks. Like they would repair anything. Like, oh,
Yeah,
you need a super weird specific shape. Yeah, we'll cut it out and get it in there. And oh, this stock has 14 different repairs on it. Yeah, no problem.
and a lot of times they're in spots where you're like, why is it even necessary?
Yeah,
You know, in the
places you
middle.
don't even think of.
The armors must have been OCD that day.
It's all of it. They must have been told you get paid by the repairs.
Like you do not scrap a stock, no matter what you make that stock work.
Wood is a national commodity, apparently.
It
I
probably
like how
was.
they'll cut out the serial numbers and like put a new piece of wood in and then put a different serial number there.
Yeah,
Can't just
I've
put a
seen-
line
Doesn't
put a
through it.
grow on
line through it.
trees.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Well, I kind of like that better than just when they do put the Austrians put the line, or the Bulgarians or whatever put the line through it. That's kind of weird too.
Or they just put the number over the other number.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's like, thanks, guys. Can't read that.
I think the first oddball that comes to mind for me is I actually got two of them, but the Japanese Type I rifles, because people don't believe you when you say, yeah, the Japanese had Carcanos.
Right.
And like no one can ever figure out what it is from a picture.
Yeah. And then when you have the memery of, what's this rifle I found? It's always an Arisaka. And then you pull a fast one, it's like, psych, that's a Carcano bolt.
Yeah.
I'm a little sad they didn't have mums though. Didn't get
Yeah,
the
they
full
should have had
meme.
moms.
Yeah.
That's my number one gripe with those is they put nothing on the top.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
the serial number, and that's it.
yeah, but on top you have a big area right there. Come on.
Bowl of spaghetti or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, put your own company on there. Put something.
Yeah, might as well advertise.
Yeah. Or I guess the other oddball that comes to mind too is I absolutely love mine, but the Type 2 paratrooper rifle. Just the things apart has me sitting here go like, I do not want to know how much time and effort they decide to put into deciding, hey, for paratroopers, let's just break our bolt action in half.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of a unique design that nobody else went with.
Yeah.
Right. But that usually tells you something too.
Mhm.
Yeah, everyone else had folding stocks or just dealt with it.
Yeah.
We need taller soldiers, so we don't need to break these things in half.
Or do the German route of you drop in with pistols and you get to fight to your right.
Yeah, like the video game route where you have to upgrade.
Yeah, I guess they only made that mistake one or two times.
Oh, Creek kind of put a sinker on that idea. What do you mean I
Another
have
one.
to fight partisans with belt-fed machine guns with a Luger?
Another one I don't have, but I want to get one eventually. I can't remember if it was British or French actually in World War I, but the wire cutter attachment they had, where all it does is help you center the wire over the bore, and then you just shoot the wire.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not very sneaky. Like I thought, if you're cutting wire, you're probably trying to be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I love the idea. They're handing the combat engineers that, and they're like, "Hey, go cut that wire quietly before the attack." And just
I mean, it would be quiet if you decide to do that while an artillery barrage is going.
Yeah, I guess that's the only time.
Good luck
if
hearing
you're
that
trying,
over artillery fire.
trying to run over there.
yeah, I don't know if I want to be sitting on the wire next to the barrage.
Well,
though.
Before that, it was, hey, hold that wire in front of my barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold still.
I wonder why that didn't. Why was that good enough? Or did somebody get a hand shot or something like that?
Like he was holding on to it and it went out and like ripped his hand off or something. I don't know.
I mean, it can't be more morbid than going, oh, there's bodies around here. Throw it over the wire and we'll just walk over them.
I mean, it does work.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, it's probably great for getting over. Shit. Hey, I have one more. The Norwegian K98s I found weird when I first saw them because you're not sure what's going on. They have the shaved down like receiver with the serial on the side.
Oh no, don't talk about those. I don't have one yet.
Oh shit!
Shh.
Now you're tempted.
But wait, aren't there two like Army and Navy or something?
Yeah, they're marked differently. I think there's like an Air Force marked one too.
Oh shit!
And then they did some in 308, I believe, but most were 30-6 converted.
Yeah, I'd like to get one. That's my part of my heritage. So that's
Ah,
like Cruxter there. I'm
oh, you got expensive heritage too with the crag.
I have that the Italian too. So I gotta
Oh,
balance.
that's not as bad.
That's
You can get
that's
your
easy.
condos going.
That's the easy one. And I always keep saying the Norwegian K98 is the one I want to get. So it'll be a while.
I guess one more oddball I throw out there is what's it, the M1917 carbines. It's just kind of ridiculous how almost nobody really knows anything about those.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I
Oh, the
kind of bought one
exports.
by accident.
You
I mean,
bought one?
shoot.
Yeah, two of them popped up in an auction, and I vaguely remembered. I think Otthias did an article on them years ago.
Mhm.
I was like, well, they didn't mention this at all, and the pictures they had for the thumbnails on the listings didn't really show that they were short. But two popped up in the auction. I was like, I should probably just snag one of these.
How do you know they're not faked?
It'd be really difficult to fake them actually, because they shaved the butt down by 1 inch, but the butt plate on the 1917 isn't flat. It's got kind of a contour to it, and they fully recontoured the back of the butt, and then they shaved down the sides of the butt plate to match that. So it'd be a lot of work to properly fake one.
Cool.
And they took 4 inches off the barrel, and then they had to modify the front part of the handguard as well as a result.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Because that's another one of those ones that can easily be listed incorrectly.
Oh yeah. I think that's the only reason I was
Yeah.
able to get mine without getting charged an arm and a leg.
Yeah. Gonna go.
And
Who the
even
hell
then,
knows?
it's only like half correct because I want to say when I actually did the measurements, the barrel was correct, but it got installed in a normal 1917 stock, so it doesn't have the extra 1 inch lopped off the back.
Oh yeah. I think we were talking about that, or I was talking with someone that you were talking with maybe, because he was conferring with me about it was a Merrick's import or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was me, Ben. I think you might have been the one to actually like point me towards the auction that was having that too.
Could have been, because the Merrick's, all the known ones that I'm aware of are Merrick's imports, and I think there's like a CIA front to get into China.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, neat little rifles.
So do you two just own a bunch of the same rare rifles?
I don't know. I don't
The
think so.
Adirondack was the 8824. I own a lot of weird, obscure, small batch stuff. So I get into the small clubs.
Yeah, you're one of the ones that has the weirdest in there.
I like the weird stuff.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, boys and girls. In MILSURP HQ fashion, we have another quick game, just a 5-question game called Bad Uli Photoshop YouTube Creators. And what that is referring to is there are 5 screenshots of popular MILSURP YouTube creators in their normal recording areas, but their heads were removed and replaced with a badly photoshopped photo of Uli from Royal Tiger Imports. Now, I'm not clowning on Uli or RTI with this. He's a cool dude, it seems like, and I'd love to talk to him and hang out with him.
But he's so memeable.
But he has a legendary smile in every picture, so we're going to share that here. So you just have to guess the channel from the photo. And this will lead us into our next segment here on social media. Here we go. The first guy. Do you recognize?
Reviews here with you again.
He is right. It's Readiness Reviews.
Hey, those are
like this is the things like I have to hide from the wife. Like,
Yeah,
so- like how many do you have? Why are they stacked on the wall?
he's in the
It's also
secret
to hide
police
all his
base,
poor
yeah.
decisions with all the RTI guns he's bought, thinking he got a gold mine.
Oh wait, I should describe it. So,
He's a glutton for punishment.
here's a guy in a corner with guns on his wall behind him. Looks
Oh
like
no!
Is it Mike
Oh
B?
no!
Heavy breathing.
It's-
Yeah.
you can see a lot of Mosins on the right, some
Guess
ARs or
really
something.
angry at people.
It is Mike B.
the infamous Smiley's basement too.
Mm.
All right, here's another fellow. He's holding a shotgun. He's in like a 1970s style.
Man, he took
House.
Biden's advice real seriously.
He's got what is that? Italian flag behind him and chairs stacked. It looks like powders and reloading
Italian,
equipment.
don't
Is this
insult
Koba?
like that.
I think it's
It's
Koba.
Koba.
I think the 1970s.
Koba!
Koba.
Very nice.
Mr. I'm gonna do like a 3-week countdown to the election.
Yeah, he got political.
Every day.
Live streams.
I sat in it a few times just to see. I was like, oh, thought maybe he'd be reloading or something, but poor guy's snatched up in politics.
Mhm.
All right, here's one with helmets on the right, guns in a rack
Time
on
to
the left.
pulverize that like and
No hat,
subscribe
though.
button.
Yeah, where's the hat?
Oh,
You should have photoshopped the hat
jacket.
on.
I had to hide the hat, so look how big the head is. It is Battlefield Curator. I like the gun back here being held up by this stand. Is that a? Oh no, that's another gun in front of it. Never mind. I thought he was. But how is it in there? I don't know.
I just couldn't
It's
take
got,
him
like, little
seriously with
sticks.
that whole shindig of pulverize that like button.
But
Indiana Jones get up.
and this one looks like the lamp. He made a gun into a lamp out of that one, which is cool. All right, we have one more creator. It's a guy in front of 3 safes. He's holding a old Winchester lever action.
Oh,
He's got a door, a wedding ring, 2 arms,
I think I know who it is.
and we know him
He's on the Discord.
in the Discord.
Oh, now you're just making me feel even worse.
Yeah, now I'm obligated to watch his stuff.
it's,
Yeah.
is this?
He is a
is it
Michael
is
of
this-
sorts.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's Mike's safe
Oh,
room.
Oh, I always watch his shorts where he shoots something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when he's in this room, he has a green screen a lot now too. But otherwise, he's got the safes up here. Look how big these things are. Jeez,
just repping that Cabela saves.
nice.
The Liberty gun safe. Risky. Did you do the recall on it?
Oh shit, is that the one?
I bet he-
wonder.
I bet he did.
Cabela's by Liberty. Yeah. Oh, that looks like it might have a mechanical lock. He's probably fine.
Oh yeah,
This time.
get locked out of your own safe. That's terrible.
I feel very secure with this category because I you can't do me. I'm immune.
I cannot do you with that. No, you're right. You're right. I was going to do it as a joke
Just, peering under the ground.
and put the head over the gun and be like, oh, there's no head.
You can put the head on his arm where he writes his name.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, that was great job on that, fellas. Great job. And now we are headed to YouTube for a moment. So on the topic, social media could be 8 hours of discussing. I understand. So what I did, I was looking around and I was finding people who posted in like the past month and found some entertaining videos and good videos also, but some funny ones. And I know there's a lot of guys out there like Matthias and Ian that we all use, but I'm going to shout out some lesser known guys, you know, give some views or something to these poor guys that are out there working hard. And I want to pass on the joy that these creators have brought me. So for instance, there's a site called Data Illusion, which is pretty strange. It's got a lot of great stats and it has a lot of great info on there. You could see that he has movies, guns from movies, and pistols from every country and all that. But it's funny because the music. Here's a sample of how the video starts. Listen to the sounds. How does it? After 4 minutes, you think you're not ready to punch the screen? And now, fine.
How long can I go without a single word being said?
Right, and then you go on to these type ones, and I guess maybe English is not his first language, which is fine, but you know, you can get it in English. I'll do it for him. You can get someone to proofread your stuff. There was a bunch of mistakes and spelling mistakes, but then like the info that he shares, sometimes they're like, listen to the music. So here's the gun of World War II. And then this one just says it was used by people after World War II. Like it's not.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's like
Never mind World War II.
It shows 1942, and that's the note he takes away from it.
yeah. It's just so there's a lot of that where it seems very random. So I feel bad for this guy, but and then like it'll say the Lee Enfield. It was a picture of a P-14. It said Lee Enfield, designed by James Paris Lee. So stuff like that, where it's like he's kind of near it. So that was fun.
Slow down.
And then I went to History Hustlers. Now this guy just started, but he calls the video Mosin Nagant, spelled correctly. Here's how this one starts. Some video of Mosin's. But he writes it on the screen, Mosin Nugant, with double U's in there.
I noticed
I
he
guess he's
mirrored
trying
his
to combine
footage
most
too.
of the gun with moist nugget.
And there's zero consistency throughout. The music's blasting, but then it gets quiet. So this is under production. It's a video of a guy shooting, but then when he does shooting, it's them making the gun. This is shooting over here. So like,
That first clip is Guns of the World, isn't it? It's
oh, he stole from everybody, I think.
yeah.
Video games like this. I don't know. I subscribe to him though. Poor guy. I want to see what he has to say. Next up here, another guy I found was Old Gun Guy. And tell me if you think this is an old gun guy. His camera looks like it's from 1970, the filter he has on or something, but it's dated 2024. He's got a car t-shirt on. He's got his spectacles there, tucked in there, his gun in his belt.
Is that
All right,
did he
before
spray
we
paint
lose
his clock?
Yeah, it looks like it. And now listen to the quality of.
light,
There's a ring and buzzing noise.
do a little trick shot with this.
So he's doing a trick shot. So he's going to shoot the bottom can with a slug, and it'll throw the can in the air, and then he's going to hit that with birdshot. But he does it, and at the very end, he says, "I used 2 birdshot by mistake."
Oh,
So he didn't even do his trick shot properly. And then here's how the video ends.
To my next point.
he's doing his best.
On to my
Editing? Never heard of
next point.
I'm most impressed someone his age honestly knows how to use a camera and upload to YouTube.
Oh, I'm not making fun of him. I'm just found it funny. He goes on to my next point, and it ends. And I was waiting to hear.
The cliffhanger. To
Well,
get you back.
Wait,
Yeah,
I'm
I'll-
giving him props
Yeah.
just for being able to upload the stuff on YouTube
And
in
we'll
a
get the-
somewhat coherent manner.
Hey, wait. Well, look at his shot. Here's his trick shot. He does it, but it's the wrong. That.
You landed
I
it.
think I got the can. I'm gonna have to go retrieve it.
But he used 2 bird shot. He was supposed to slug it, but whatever. But you hear the buzzing throughout the whole video?
So let me pause this.
You gotta start somewhere. I respect it.
I
He
know.
uploaded something. He got in front of the camera.
Hey, I'm promoting him. Old gun guy. Here-
I can't even call him a FUD when he's appendix carrying a Glock.
Yeah.
Well,
I like him.
no, but look,
I like this guy.
he's got these old
He's
Winchesters and old revolvers too. Look at this
Needs a
thing.
better camera.
Right. So that's what he's got to work on. So go give him some views. He's old gun guy 62, technically.
Mm.
That's not going to help. So that was fun. And now Master Beto. Last
Oh,
but
boy.
not least, he's got 27,000 subscribers, so he's doing all right because he mostly does these shorts where you can see how he's a character.
Oh, I think I saw the right video. Yeah, this one.
Yeah,
This
so
video's good.
he had the gun haul, so I found it.
Museum recently closed down.
His
I was
outfit's
able to
funny,
buy
yeah.
some of their collection. I'm Master Beta. Welcome to my first video. We'll start with the American 1903.
No pause, it goes right in.
It was used by the Marine Corps in the Pacific and then rear echelon troops in the Western.
All right, so he's a fellow with a kind of large head. You know, I have a large head too. Just pointing it out. I can spot him.
Like an Uli head.
He started with a helmet and 2 Lugers.
And he's just going all in on the glove treatment.
Right, he's wearing the gloves, but he says stuff like this, like, look at Germany. Like, what are we looking at here? Oh, he's talking about a non-German gun, but he's showing Germany.
I think he's trying to say the Springfield 1903 is a Mauser, but
He says it's used for they're used in ceremonies, and he shows this picture of Germany. But I liked it when he goes to Japan. He's wearing the headband.
What makes this Arasaka unique compared to most on the market?
Let's see if his
is
stats.
It still has its anti-aircraft sights. Along with the anti-aircraft sights, you also have a monopod to keep you steadier when you're sniping aircraft out of
Look,
the sky.
got your ass.
Very
Got your
quickly, they
ass.
realized that this wasn't exactly a good addition to their rifle. It increased production.
He uses a lot of Conrad stuff too.
The green screen's doing a lot of work.
Yeah. So yeah, he says a few things like he's got to work on some of his stats, like the side hoods are only post-war on a K98.
He said the Marines used the 03A3. They didn't use an 03A3.
Yeah. Wait, your mic is a little low now. It was.
Oh, that's just me.
Yeah.
is he using the Woobly website for that?
Yeah, look. That's Conrad's site he put up here. Conrad's
Wow.
Myths. That's funny.
Sat in a box during the war. Each of these rifles will be
This
tested
guy.
in their own unique and fun
All right, so listen to this. This is how he's going to test them.
video. For this one, we're planning on dressing up Watermelon with American helmets. We're going to attach balloons to an RC car, hit moving targets. We're going to have a lot of fun. Subscribe. This is
Well, it worked because that was 1,000 subscribers, and now he's got 27,000.
That's a unique way of doing it.
But I looked. I didn't find any watermelons or RC cars, so he never got to do that. But he does do a lot of helmets and stuff too, though. But so that's a fun one. He's Master Beto, and he does say, that's my name, I swear. But then each gun he went to, he would change it. The helmet, he would go Type 99. We plan to dress up watermelons with American helmets. And then he goes, Enfields, we're going to dress up Stahlhelms with watermelons. So whatever.
Man, he's just got a real thing against watermelons.
And the helmet. He's going to shoot the helmets?
Yeah.
I
no
wonder.
kidding.
If he misses.
Mhm.
Anyway, he's a fun dude. Master Beto. Don't forget to check out Master Beto.
That sounds so wrong.
Mhm.
So it seems like YouTube MILSURP creators, for the most part, either just love doing like long form videos or they like cranking out a bunch of shorts, like some people we know. But not many do both consistently or effectively. But one guy who does is our pal Mike, MILSURP Mike. So I was going to shout out Mike at the MILSURP Mike channel. If you notice, he did a 7 or 8 part series on Finnish Mosins. See all these down here? And that's awesome. And he does a lot of research. Not good.
I was saying he's a good spread. We saw his setup at the Kansas City show. He did finished motions.
Nice.
Right. So he does a lot of deep dives. So he'll read a book and when he's on this subject, you'll see he'll get 2-3 books, read them all, and then while it's fresh in his mind, he'll put out videos. So definitely check his out. But oh, Tenacious, that was you. But he blew up recently. Oh no, these are the old ones. But he did the Widowmaker shotgun video. Oh, it's not here right now. And that got lots of views. But he's a fun follow, and you can see he has this video, Make Your Johnson Longer, with this simple trick. So he's got a lot of jokes. So MILSURP Mike channel, learn about your Finnish Mosens. Tenacious, you're another one. You do have long form, but they're not that long.
Yeah. And really, the shorts are just cropped versions of the long videos. There are some unique ones in there, but yeah.
Let me skip you for a sec because I want to ask you a few questions on that. Another friend of ours, full disclosure, we know this guy as well, Garand Guy 2553, and he may sound like he only does Garands, but I don't know if I've ever seen him do a Garand. He does a million things, a lot of Italian guns, cleaning
Turkish,
guns. What was that?
Yeah, Turkish.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's
Turkish
doing
guns.
Turkish too.
But videos of making his gun rack, visiting Japan, unboxing, testing ammo. That's a good follow. Garand Guy 2553. Don't be fooled by the name. He's not just about Garands. He just went on a trip, and there's a couple of videos on there. And then Cruxter. Cruxter 86's Milsurps and Motos. Lest we forget, he was a motorcycle guy first, right?
Yeah, it's still kind of am, but that's in the background now.
What's more satisfying, getting a motorcycle? I guess a motorcycle's like more expensive, but getting a motorcycle you were pining for, or finding that Milsurp you were pining for?
The Milsurp, I'd say.
All right, he's on the right side of the scale.
Dude, old bikes are a lot of work. I love some of the guns where it's just like, you replace a couple parts and it's good to go.
And I have to say, as a Mauser guy myself, I've read hundreds of Mauser pages, a ton on Polish Mausers as well. And I learned more from your videos than any of those things, I must say. More stuck in my head.
Oh, thanks.
So that's Cruxter 86's Milsurp's Motos. He dresses in the uniforms at times as well.
What? Oh, just in the bayonet one.
Oh, all right.
I gave
So
up on that. I was like, this is stupid.
I was watching him. You were in it. I was like, all right.
Man's got to know his limitations.
So what is the most common question you get asked as a Polish collector?
What's it worth?
Yeah.
Basically. No, I've had people like contact me on like, forums or Reddit or, other places being like, hey man, like, can you let me know if you like see one come up for sale that you think is good? And I'm like, I'll find an auction listing and I'll be like, hey, I really think this one's good. I'd say like, go for it if you want to add it to your collection. And then they kind of see like what it's going for and they're like, yeah, nah. So I kind of stop tipping people off because I just have noticed that like not very often do people actually follow through with it. So
Yes. And I've used your services for when I purchased my Empire Arms
oh, that was a good one.
gun.
Yeah.
It's like,
Dude,
is this good enough?
Empire
Is this
Arms
legit?
Empire Arms was like so weird because it's like yours was a good price, and then like a couple months later, he had like a Spanish Civil War like scrubbed one for like the same price, and it's like what?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he just forgets.
Yeah.
He's been doing it a while. All right, Tenacious. Now, I love your most popular short, which is the Cursed Mosin PU scope adjustment. But the situation I'm seeing is I'm flipping through and I see, by the way, this is my favorite for some reason. I love this Alofts. I see people stealing your content constantly by mimicking your the way you show the gun, mimicking almost the location. Are you angry about this or
Uh,
and
no, not really. So I'd
that's
say,
mimicking, not stealing.
yeah,
We'll get to stealing in a second.
yeah, I'm not mad about mimicking. I don't think I do much that's super unique. I think my filming method's probably the most unique part about the filming, and a lot of people haven't figured that out really. I've been a little more secretive recently than I used to be, but
Yeah. Well, it's also your location is something about it. It's like it's kind of closed and not wide open like a lot of people, and that makes it a little more intimate. I don't know.
yeah, yep. And I don't know. I won't claim the showing the gun before as mine because I was inspired early on by Guns of the World's POV
Mm.
segments. I didn't like that he didn't get down the sights exactly. He's gotten
Right.
closer, but he's still not perfectly aligned. Um,
Yeah,
and
that
that
always
annoyed me.
bothers
But
me.
then I realized it's actually pretty hard to do that. So I eventually came up with a way to do it and just started my own channel that just did the POV part. So I'd say I'm not frustrated by similar videos.
I'll have my
Um,
gun. I'll have my gun on the table, and I'll be trying to do it just to take a photo, and I have a hard time lining it up. You do it so quickly now.
oh yeah, there are some tricks. It took me a while to get good at it. Some of the early ones are blurrier, and
Right. There's got to be
aperture
something.
sights are still rough. But
Right.
Yeah, those guys over at MILSURP HQ haven't figured it out yet.
yeah,
Right. But yeah, I love that. So now stealing. I've seen your content on other people like I've seen it on Twitter a few times. I've seen other people like say it was there. I think on Facebook. Like,
oh
how much
yeah,
is this worth? And it's you shooting it. I'm like, what?
yeah. That's I hate that. If they give credit or it's like they're doing part of a video and they use a clip from it in their informative video, that's fine. That's clearly fair use. But then you get guys that are like slap their watermark on it and call it theirs, and that drives me nuts. I don't know. It feels weird because you're like watching your property in your hands doing things, but then someone else is claiming it's theirs and profiting from it.
Strange. And one side I saw had like every video you put out, it seemed like they must have had like some automatic thing set up because there was like everyone you put out, they did it. It's not there anymore.
Yeah,
I looked before to see if it was still up.
yeah. And then Facebook bothers me because I actually made a Facebook page, but someone else had already been ripping off my videos there. So Facebook basically accused me of not being me and banned me. So whoever's doing it on Facebook is not me, but then there's like a second Facebook page that's set up as me that thankfully only has a couple people following, but they're advertising as like a gun store and doing gun giveaways. So people are getting scammed there, but
That's
I don't
terrible.
know. I That'd be the one benefit of I guess it showing my face or talking more in videos. It's way harder to lie about that basically, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
there's a little foot I was talking about
Yeah,
earlier.
I was looking for it.
Yeah.
This thing here. The
Yeah, like pops out when you close it, like kicks around in.
So we're looking at
Yeah.
a Danish crag. Tenacious is shooting. And
Yeah, that was a show's pickup earlier this year.
89-10. This is nice. Yeah, I think it's a combination of what you're shooting, where you're shooting, and the no right to the point attitude that makes these
Yeah,
videos so appealing.
I've had compliments on that. I think it's kind of funny because it's really I I didn't know how to edit and I still don't really. So I wanted to get everything in one take and I just upload raw
Right.
footage. So there's no messing around or intros or anything because I didn't want to have to edit those.
And it's a short time. I mean, what are you gonna see? So here's a Danish 89 crag. It says it in the title.
Yeah, yeah. And then I originally didn't even put anything in the description for info on the guns, and I had enough people complain about that. It seemed kind of fair, so I started at least putting a blurb about what the gun was, so people could Google it
Yeah.
further from there. But
I was one of the people that would kind of I would go down to look for more info on something. Go shit, there's nothing there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do pride myself on getting some deep cuts on the MILSURP and getting some pretty rare footage. This one's pretty rare. I think only 2,000 made.
Wow, Peabody 7077
Yeah, the
from
Connecticut State Militia
poor
conversions.
Peabody.
It's like the only shootable cartridge they have. Otherwise, you're like
Wow.
reloading 43 Spanish or some awful rimfire cartridge.
That's awesome. Yeah, Peabody was that designer who did very well in the U.S. trials, but he couldn't make this from a Springfield easy enough.
Yeah, he was really unfortunate because he really had the best design, but it just always in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Wow, look how smooth that is.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's shooting them out. Nice. Wow. So what's next? Do you have any plans? Like or are you gonna just keep rolling what you're doing? Just curious.
Yes, I have I've had plans for what's next for a while, but honestly, I'm just kind of lazy. People have asked me to upgrade my audio. I know the audio is not fantastic. But it's just my phone audio, and the answer to that is no, because then I have to have mic audio that I have to edit together, and I'm just way too lazy for that. My current filming setup is like
I tried though a cheap mic like from Amazon for the phone,
yeah.
and they have some good ones that will stop like the wind sounds and I don't know. So maybe you can find something cheap, maybe on Temu or something.
Could be. That's the other. There's another spiteful side of me going back to the content piracy thing, where there are people who just rip all the sounds from my videos and upload them as like sound packs for games or mods. So I don't think the audio is that unique.
So you have to, every time you shoot, you have to go plow, plow.
Yeah, I'm not going to intentionally ruin the audio, but I'm not worried about making it great because people can record audio for these guns or something close and get pretty close. But I think the view down the sights is really the main part that I'm offering.
Right.
So the answer to most of the questions is why haven't I branched out on content? Because I'm too lazy. Why haven't I made sound better? Because currently my setup takes 2 minutes to get together and film something, and that's really convenient.
All right. How about this? Is that mound over there filled with lead and?
Probably. I haven't mined it.
Does it make a noise when you shoot it?
No, it's not quite that bad. I did add more dirt to it recently, so it got rejuvenated. It just kind of melts over time.
Here's an example of something you shoot, an 1819 Hall.
Yeah, that was a deep cut. I was proud of that
geez.
one. I think that was the first flintlock Hall footage I could find online anywhere.
Look at that.
I felt a little bad because I found out later that Cap and Ball had just found one, had been working on footage too. So I kind of stole his thunder a little bit on footage, but he actually loaded it way more accurately than I did, and he went into a lot more of the history. So,
man, how many test shots did you do before you film? Like for this?
0. Well, I take that back. My dad came over and we did one. He shot it once. And then it was straight into the video.
And then how many shots then total?
It's probably been shot maybe 6 times total. I don't want to put too much mileage on it because it's a pretty minty one. So I almost wish it was a little rougher because I wouldn't feel bad about putting wear on it.
I mean, this is remarkable. Look at that. I mean, where the hell was it all this time that it's in this great condition?
Yes, I found out there are a number of really, really nice ones dated 1838 out on the market. And they all came out of a crate of unissued ones they found when they were cleaning out Benicia Arsenal in California in I think the 50s or 60s. So they're like I don't know, a dozen or so of these like super minty 1838 dated ones floating around out there in the market.
Because they were in a crate for 120 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those.
bit of a head start on the wear over time. So
I was focusing more on like just content videos, but there's other branches. Like there's a whole world of people who just shoot, and a world of people who just restore rusty firearms. So I'll just throw out a couple names. You can go check them out yourself on your own. Vintage Rifle Shooters Club is a like Russian sniper dude, and he's pretty badass. And he reviews a lot of different sniper rifles and does some competitions and gives you some best snipers in the world and stuff and Ukraine shit. But he's
I always get a kick out of his videos because he talks just like my uncles.
yeah, he's I
Same
think from
accent.
Poland.
is he? I don't know. I didn't get it. Well, if you read his thing, he just says, if you want to learn about rifles from the perspective of the army sniper, he doesn't say much.
He was a sniper in the U.S. Army, and I think he's originally from Poland. He's apparently better known for his AK channel, which he started before this. I didn't know that until earlier this year, but yeah, he knows his stuff. He served as a sniper, and I think maybe an instructor after that.
Yeah,
Is the
so
Polish
so he
accent.
definitely I listened to one video and you know he knows his shit. And so if you're interested in any sniper rifles in particular, he's got a lot of different ones and he's pretty
Oh, there's
badass.
AK Operators Union.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was
Yeah, that's pretty
very
popular.
thrown off when I realized he made a second channel after watching him as AKOU for years.
Yeah, I didn't know he made a second channel. It's cool.
Yeah, because I was watching and then one day I'm like, why isn't he shooting an AK? Oh wait, that's a different channel. Let me see what's going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one was good, the P14, because everyone talks about that being kept around because it was so accurate and all that, and he kind of proves it. And then Rusty Restore, this guy,
Oh jeez.
he does guns and some other stuff and a lot of guitars. Interestingly enough, he's got a lot of guitars, boom boxes and shit. But that's one. Rusty Restore and Raycom Projects always does these weird ones. Not sure. They make them from scratch. A lot of times they
Yeah, that
the
car 98. Oh my god,
stock.
that's so much work.
Yeah.
he's got like 20 just bare Danish Krag receivers too. I talked to him on like I think he's on the Sea and Arsenal Discord server. He was hanging around there before he started his channel, but yeah, he's got really interesting projects. Really into the Krags mostly.
Yeah, it's really you get stuck watching it and like, holy shit! I just watched 6 of these things,
Yeah,
and I feel bad. I'm like, I'm glad I'm not doing that. I'm like, oh, I'm glad I'm not making the original Car 90. It's like this one's the hardest one. I'm gonna make. You're like, oh shit. But yeah, that's fun to watch. Um, I'll take a detour over to Instagram just to throw out a few I was looking at. Abby Milsurps on Instagram. There's a lot of guns in beautiful scenarios. No bullshit, just there's flintlocks and this. I think there's some modern, there's some modern guns here, but at the end of the Milsurp spectrum. But there's beautiful. I love these. Look at that. Milsurp nerd. This guy is just only got 836 followers. I'm just gonna give this dude some followers. Looks like a young dude. Hung out at
Yeah,
visited Desmond Das.
Well, that's a
stealing my
familiar
fence
fence
picks.
line.
Hey, wait
Yeah.
a minute.
That's not my fence.
Wrong fence.
So
It's not
yeah,
Holmes' fence either.
shout out to Milsurp Nerd. Hey, while we're at it, Milsurp Addict, another guy who puts his shit in the woods. You know, he's got grenades there. I respect the work that goes in this. This guy's fun one. IJA Militaria, the site, the whatever, the website too, but they have a lot of good, like never before seen
Hopefully, he's also not opening his mouth supporting Imperial Japanese propaganda.
Yeah.
We can hope.
But it's just fun to look at the photos, regardless of it's
Yeah.
politics. But it's a lot of great things, a lot of things that were shot. And then last here, I have MILSURP on green screen. Look at this guy. He's
Not
doing an
green screen.
Austrian loading 1794 drill from the 1794 drill manual. And he's wearing a 1798 Austerlitz campaign outfit. Could this be the future of Tenacious? You never know. He might change his angle.
Oh yeah, I just need the arms of the uniform. Can I get a discount for that?
You probably could. And then, so this guy, there you go. But again, beautiful. This is 71. If you like just looking at MILSURP while you're on the toilet, check these guys out.
What a shout out.
Yeah.
And last but not least on my list here, I just found 3 guys that are brand new, need some subscribers. This guy's trying. He restored a British Enfield. He's the Patriot Experience on YouTube, and he's in another shack where he's in a hidden location.
Make the video.
And he bought a new stock. Does an unboxing here, and
Flexion on everybody with the Puko knife.
yeah.
If I remember right.
So he's just a new dude that's trying here. He just purchased some Garans at the CMP, so if you want to see what field grade looks like.
In this video, I'm showing you 2 CMP field grade M1
Damn,
Grands.
40-minute
If you're looking for a
video.
good representation of M1 Grands or
Yeah.
the CMP in between,
Yeah.
go and give them a look.
Wait,
I'm
what's
sure you're
that
gonna like 'em.
stock?
I actually have a
Yeah, that's
YouTube
quite the
short
spread.
video shooting this exact M1 Grand here on my channel. I'll link it down below. You just click on it and it'll take you right to the video.
I would be upset
I
if I
don't
got
have a
that
video
stock.
shooting this one. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's not my
Yeah.
rifle. My friend will be the first one to shoot this rifle.
He's giving it to his friend.
That's something that'll be. He's the guy.
Wait,
kinda
straw
like me,
purchasing?
and
You can't
when
do
you
that.
buy something, you want to be the first one. to
Ooh,
get it.
Yeah, gift
wow.
I would never shoot his rifle. I will also add a video.
I thought you were shouting him out, not
some
reporting
World War II
videos.
A lot of my videos like that.
You just got-
Oh no,
accept
you could have
hands on
really
it.
put his
Training
dog
tapes,
in danger.
Shit, I might have to cut him out. No, maybe he just got his friend's CMP. I skipped that.
I think it's kind of neat.
Well,
Plausible
that's it.
deniability.
Plausible. So yeah. So Patriot
That's a great
Experience.
channel.
Sorry for shutting you down, buddy. This guy here, Nathan Rightshirt, he's got 165 subscribers. He just started out. You see here, he's got a lot of Vetterli video and RTI stuff. But I just thought this rack was
Damn.
funny that he brought out with him.
Okay, giving you guys a little bit of context about what you're going to be seeing.
just
in
a
this,
strange thing to have out
long-range
there.
Video. We will be test
a weird
firing
rack,
my
too.
1870/87/15
cool.
Vetterli Carcano from Royal.
the-
I've seen a
Tiger
lot
Imports,
weirder.
not sponsored or anything.
But I can picture that tipping
This
over.
particular one was built in 1884.
So yeah, that's this dude, Nathan Rightshirt. Yeah, he's a jack of all trades. He's got Ohio Railroad Productions where he has model trains and tractors and tillers. So shout out to that dude.
Cool.
And then my man, Mississippi MILSURP. If you're not familiar with him,
Rabbit.
get familiar with him. Now his video starts with warning he is loud.
What is up, YouTube? What is up? It's Big Boy Rabbit coming to you wild and free from East Central Mississippi.
Yeah, Big
I'm out
Boy
here in
Rabbit.
Mississippi MILSURP. We got another fun one for you today. That's right. It's one from.
So yeah, we're gonna get Big Boy Rabbit on the
Royal
show.
Tiger Import.
Got to get him on here. So he does, as you see here, Royal Tiger. He's their number 1 or 2. Maybe him and Readiness Reviews go back and forth. He's purchased a
I will say
shitload.
I appreciate his enthusiasm.
Yes,
That he does have.
he has it,
At
but
least he hasn't gone cynical, so let's call that a plus.
but where a lot of guys are boring, he is fun. He reloads. He tests his guns out as shitty, even in shit condition. He'll go out there a gun with 19 cracks in it, splitting cases, and he's like, "All right, here we go." So he's fun.
I respect it.
Calling it as it is, at least.
Yeah, and he's not afraid to get dirty, as you see. He does mud tests, and he's out in the woods crawling on the floor at times. Like, look, cave. He's in a cave saving animals. I'm like, even in this one, did he do it? No.
Even the spouses can watch.
Yeah. So look where he is. He's like, where I'm from, that's where all the ticks are, right at this area.
But was nice enough to do it in front of.
But yeah, that's my man, Mississippi Milsurp. And then Adirondack reminded me of these videos. Yeah, I think someone had pasted them in the Discord.
Oh yeah, the one that finally is able to compete with Triangle 26.
Right. So there's Triangle 26, which is this fella here. A lot of
Mr.
SKS
The man
talk.
I had to go to when I had questions about my SKS.
But Type 56, Story of the SKS and AK-47 in China is the name of the channel. And Type 56 Ordnance Department is the official name. That's strange. But there's a lot of good info this guy has. I went through a few things, and
Well,
here's
yeah,
an
because I can't think of that many people that are like
Hello,
subject
friends.
matter experts
Welcome
on the
to Type
PLA.
56, the story
Right.
of the SKS and AK-47 in China. I'm Jason Clower. This is a course about why the PLA
And that's
deliberately
how he sounds,
chose
and,
kept obsolescent weapons like the SKS carbine, and why they undervalued weapons like their Type 56 AK.
so that's this fella.
Well,
Type-
I guess I get to subscribe to him.
Yeah, Type 56, Story of the SKS and AK-47 in China.
Now
Yeah,
you can
I
see
like
how many
the
people can use
length of the
it for-
videos. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, not too long, all under a half hour.
That actually is like a sweet spot for timing, honestly.
That's really
Yeah.
good. And then I had a Boondock Ballistician.
Oh yeah, her.
One of the very few females in the world here. And as Adirondack, Adirondack, I'm calling him, but he's Dylan, as he pointed out, she is definitely into guns. So here's her intro for this one. You can tell she's into it. She's not just
Hello, YouTube.
sticking
I was
around.
very excited for this video today because with me, I do have probably one of my favorite firearms,
And you'll see that she is young, though.
the SKS. I don't know if I really like it because I have a soft spot for Rising Storm. Victory scream!
Like this.
Yeah! Or maybe because I get to call it the some ASMR there for you guys. But either way, I hope you guys are just as excited to learn about this as I am to share it with you. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. I don't know, something, because the algorithm is terribly confusing.
Yeah,
But
so
let's get started on it.
Yeah.
So
She's-
the SKS
she's fun.
was originally
She has good
introduced in
topics.
1945.
She tries to be
Literally
jokey.
titled the self-loading carbine of
Yeah.
the Simonov system.
Her last video about potting electronics was actually pretty good. Like it's actually a pretty good DIY video.
Oh. Pony, that's
I
cool.
mean, shit, I'm just happy there's more female YouTubers getting into the gun game.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And she's got the one here I watched too, the Swedish AG-42B and ballistics analysis. She's shooting up a Cybertruck over here. The M1A pistol. So yeah, this is a fun one. She is Boondock Ballistician. She loves her dog. That's why it's on there. That's the only comment on her is she loves her dog.
Her shield against the ATF.
And then Triangle 26. So we had this guy talking about the SKS in China. She was talking about what the SKS is.
And he's
And
just
then
SKS.
this guy is answering the question everyone wants to know. How rare is my SKS? And he uses the triangle he made here.
Into three sections. Triangle likes triangles. Big shocker. Up in this top section, we have what I call the collectibles. These are rifles which, at least at the time of filming, are realistically attainable for North American collectors of average means. In other words, if
Poor
SKS
Taylor
collecting
is
is a
the
serious
North
hobby in your life,
Vietnamese.
and you want to own an SKS powder carbine produced by one of these countries, you could probably make that
So
happen.
yeah, Triangle 26. If you want to get your SKSs on, those are some good ones.
Yeah, I think I got started on him just because I remember the first video I watched was him like doing a mic drop of how Chinese SKSs should be more desirable than the Russian ones because they actually shot people with them.
He might have a point.
True.
Brand new one in the
Especially ones
box.
that, like, came
Yeah.
through Albania that were probably in Vietnam or whatever.
Anyone else have any channels you'd like to shout out? Anyone? Any new channels?
Yeah, let me see it. Let me see if I can find it because I know my problem is the name was just so damn long.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not going to be as long as Type 56 story of the SKS and the AK-47 in China.
No, definitely not. Oh gosh, I have to do some digging.
And as always, shout out
Oh, I
to
think I found it.
C and Arsenal, Forgotten Weapons, Hickok 45. If you don't know those guys, you're
Yes, the
not doing it
ODs.
right.
I guess one I don't know if they've been mentioned before, but Great Northwest Weaponry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we mentioned them earlier. They have some
Okay.
good shorts.
Okay, I must have missed that one big time.
No, they were in the Discord, the gun collab, the Discord.
Yeah, that was,
Oh, okay.
pre-show chatter. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, they post a lot of MILSURP, and I've learned a few things from this dude.
Mm-hmm. And then I think there's one other one that I remember that I keep mixing up with them just because their backgrounds are always the same. It was, if I can find it, it's a better question.
Yeah, like this guy's out in the Great Northwest, obviously, but he's in snow a lot of times, and I think it's his Instagram is a lot of these snowy pine trees and the guns and
he,
the
like, treks
sunrise
out into wilderness. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that was the other one I kept mixing him up with because his channel name's actually really similar. It's a Forest Firearms.
Forest Firearms?
Yeah. I ended up stumbling across his channel. I was trying to find information on how to make my Nambu a bit more reliable. I think that's a bit more of his older videos, though, because I want to say those are at least a couple years old, unfortunately.
All right, but yeah, he seems like a man's man here. Busy. He's got bows. He's fishing. He's hunting. He's shooting.
Oh, and he was one of the few guys I found
He's
that
in the
did a video on
snow.
the Remington Model 29.
Colt Python. Look at that. Yugo M72. Yes, that's good.
Yeah, the parts kit surplus.
I think we got all our friends' channels too, right? Trying to think who else.
Oh, forgot MILSURP World.
Yeah, MILSURP World. The last video. I hadn't watched the last one yet. He just put out a new one. After a while, they've been putting out the podcast though. So yeah, MILSURP World, Danny, Aaron. Subscribe to those fellas.
I'm a big fan of paper cartridges. The channel.
Isn't he the is he the Eastern European
No, that's Cap and Ball.
Oh, Cap and Ball, okay.
Paper cartridges is similar. He does a lot of weird, like old cartridge revival stuff, though. Like he just recently did the Maynard tape primer for the Springfield 1885 or 1855.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he's got a
made
1886
He handmade
lapel.
the tapes, and he was messing around with he like revived these old Austrian experimental gun cotton cartridges, and he like made his own gun cotton.
Nice.
It's like a pre-smokeless experimental stuff.
Wow.
He makes his own
Even has
black powder, and he sells cartridges too online, but he goes into crazy detail with it.
He has a few books about making black powder and like a book on the Enfield, the P53 Enfield, I think.
Yeah, yep. He makes
Wow.
Pritchett cartridges and
Subscribed. I gotta check this out.
That's pretty cool.
he's got a really,
I
really good black powder overview too. It's like an hour long, but it basically explains what black powder is, how the different grades work, and which brands work better, and even like which wood types are the make the best black powder.
Wow, that's
And I guess
awesome.
it's less a channel and more a person because I think he's on like 3 different channels now. But friggin' Jonathan Ferguson,
Yeah, he's all
creator of
over
the
that.
Royal Armories, yeah.
The keeper of firearms and artillery at
Yeah, the Weapons and
You gotta
More
use his full
TV.
title.
Yeah,
They have all those guys in there.
yeah. And I think the Royal Armories has their own specific channel too.
Yeah, this guy has some cool stuff. I definitely have to check it out. So that's Paper Cartridges 6705. I don't know how the name
I'm not sure.
No,
works
actually,
out.
I'm curious. I wonder if the other British group I'm thinking of has their own channel.
Well, the
Oh yeah, the Vickers MG Collection and Research Association.
wait, Research Association?
Which is ironic because I stumbled into them for their non-Vickers content and then realized they have a boatload of Vickers content.
Vickers MG Collection and Research Association.
Yeah, it's a really long title. I'm gonna give them that.
Yeah,
Holy cow!
What a name.
The Shoot the Vickers. Wow, that's a fun one.
Yeah.
I gotta check that out. Look at this site. They're really expert YouTubers the way they broke this down.
Yeah.
Collection, photo analysis.
Hey, if you really want to learn about Vickers, they got everything apparently.
Wow. And this is just Vickers. Wow. That's a lot of respect.
Hey, the Vickers got around.
Jeez. Vickers MG Collection and Research Association, fellas.
Yeah. And
Check
I
that
stumbled
out.
into them less for the Vickers guns and more about the Webley revolver at the time.
Jeez.
They were one of the first channels I bumped into when I was just trying to find more information about the 38 Webleys.
All right, boys and girls, any more channels?
I
got one more.
Just a quick.
Oh boy.
Go ahead.
Go for it.
Oh, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Mosin Museum. I had a couple questions about my Mosin conversion, and he had a video on it, and I just like his consistent content. And I mean, I watched like a 20-minute video where he just talked about the differences between two patterns of like M91 like barrel bands, and he had like history behind each one of them and why they were, unique in their own way based on like when they were implemented or adopted.
Wow, I like that when it's insane detail given. Mosin
Garbage
Museum,
4K.
Big Sam.
Yeah, if you want to know anything about Mosins, he's the guy.
Look, the 15mm Russian Krinka. All right, that sounds
If I'm
good.
remembering correctly, he might actually be local to me because I think he's in Colorado.
Based on the
Maybe.
background, it looks like it.
Maybe it looks like it.
Well, I think I just remember him mentioning it in one of the videos I ended up watching because I remember digging into his videos when I was trying to learn more about the Dragoon rifles.
And they helped add Mosins to Asanzo. That's funny. All right, check them out, Mosin Museum. All right, let's go to our final segment of the day here, where we just answer our listener mail and comments and questions that we've gathered from YouTube comments and personal interactions with folks and emails and all that stuff. And we'll throw them out here and see how the crew can do. So the question's actually here. Can you use the same bayonet on the U.S. Krag 1903, 1917, 03A3, and M1 Garand? And do you know where I could find a good chart of U.S. bayonets?
You cannot. The 1917 out of those doesn't work with any of the other ones. The 1917 bayonet is a totally different family. That's based off of the British pattern 07 bayonet. So that doesn't work on any of the other ones. The later bayonets like the M1905 for the Springfield 1903 or the M1 bayonet will work on a Krag. A Krag bayonet will not work on an M1 Garand, though the gas tube gets in the way.
Oh. So the Krag bayonet works on the 1903 and 03A3, but not
I believe so,
the
yeah.
Garand.
But not the Garand.
And then the P14 M1917s were using that style of bayonet, right? So that just rules that one out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so if you
it was
get
also
a
the bayonet for the shotguns we use though.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
Those are kind of on their own family, though.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get a book. I just put a book up, U.S. Krag bayonets. Look how many.
I have a book.
I always thought there was this one, but then there's the shorter one, the Bolo.
I didn't realize there was a shorter pattern for the Krag. Interesting.
Weird.
Yep.
Then there's this book, Bayonets of the World. So the guy said, any charts, get yourself a good bayonet book.
They just came out with a new edition of that recently, right?
Think so. I need a I like digital versions because I could check from anywhere. You know?
But I'm kind of a sucker for both, but that's only just because if I have it in front of me, I kind of like having the paper version beside me instead of the digital version.
If I'm home, I'll go read it. It's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bayonets of the World. But yeah, so the answer was no, you cannot use the same bayonets on all of them, but almost. Just
there's some cross compatibility.
Some.
Yeah.
What's some backwards compatibility?
You just gotta get a 1905 or an M1, and that'll cover all of them except for the M1917.
Yeah, that's good. All right, I have a Lee Enfield #1 Mark III Star that is marked with HV on the stock. My research has led me to believe it means high velocity, and I've heard this meant that it was either a former sniper rifle or it was modified to use special machine gun ammo, but I don't know. Any clear idea what this is about? So I have a photo of it here. It's a HV, as he said. And there's always these British stocks are always filled with fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, that's an Australian one. It's Lithgow.
And some of their, and from what I personally found from my brand new book, I bought the Skinnerton Enfield book and the other Skinnerton markings book. So I'm all over this. And it just means that the rifle sights have been calibrated for the Mark 7 303 round, which is the most famous of the round of the 303. That's the one they used in both of the wars. But that's all it means. Nothing special. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just set up for Spitzer.
Right. They had a 174 grain Spitzer, so they had to recalibrate and poor sap. All right. My new Royal Tiger Imports rifle is called a model. Oh, yeah, this guy's not a native English speaker, but that's all right. My new Royal Tiger Imports, because we accept everyone here at the HQ. My new Royal Tiger Imports rifle is called the Model 1888-90, and am very luck my order from them. Dirty, I clean all and lot. For so many times, I was much tired. I listened to the podcast and like you, and want you to know me. The sights are in meters. My Steyr 1895 carbine is meters. When did they use first time? So, is the 8890 in Schritt or meters?
Yeah,
Yes, is the question. So it's in Schritt. And then when did they? Do we know when they changed? What was the first one?
I don't know if they did
that
change it.
changed? Well, isn't the 95s in meters, or is the 95-34s in meters? Shit.
I thought they maintained Schritt until the end of the Austrian-Hungarian Empire.
I
But
did
could be wrong
wait,
about that.
I wrote it down. It says from Hungary.com, our pals over there. Oh, wait, here's a photo of an 8890. And here's all the sites. These guys here, Hungary, these dudes, they said the sites were still in Schritt on all Mannlichers until the 1930s conversions.
Yeah, I was gonna say
After
because
the fall of the
Europe,
Austro-Hungarian Empire.
yeah, because Europe adopted the meter like widespread in like the 30s.
Well, Austria adopted the metric system in the 1870s or something, but they left
No shit.
they left it in Schritt. Now, a Schritt, as we keep saying it, we didn't explain it, is around 29.9 inches. Which they say is roughly a British marching pace. A yard is 36, so it's a little less.
Yeah.
And Arshin, which is the Russian original unit, is 28 inches. So that's pretty close.
The joys of military tradition.
On a side note, when I was researching this about the Schritt and everything, I found a letter where the U.S. was asking Austria how it's going since you converted. Is anything screwed up since you went to the metric system? Because we're thinking of going to the metric system. So the U.S. was getting close in 1896.
And you know how that went.
Yep. Austria probably said, don't do it. It sucks.
It's like, we're going to be full-on Imperials, dang it.
All right, so to answer the dude's question, it is it's not in meters, it's in Schritt, and yeah, your car is in meter. That's when they first did it during that. Now watch Aaron tell us we're wrong, yell at us. Sorry,
If
Aaron.
you want the 30s conversions, but
All right, I'm looking to buy a German G43 and wondering if there were any important differences in the G43 manufacturers, and why are some G43 and some K43? Is there a difference?
who's the local German expert?
As far as I know, from what I researched, there's no difference. They changed to K43 late in 44. And I think it was just a reorganizing of the way they name things at that time. Germans are always busy doing shit, huh? So here, of course, is a G43, and I looked and said, which are the best manufacturers? The consensus is the Berlin Lubriker, the Dove DUV and QVE ones is Danny, are usually the better ones. That's just a consensus.
Well timed too, because didn't he release a G43 video a couple days back about folks just talking smack about him?
Yeah, he was like defending it.
Yeah. In defense of the G43 or something.
Yeah, I like my G43. I'm going to defend it as well. So yeah, the G43, the manufacturers, guy asked, are there differences? BLM's the best, apparently, and K43 is just a different name. Boom. Did Oswald use a 6.5 or a 735 Carcano? I need to know what to get from RTI.
Allegedly.
Classic.
Allegedly. 6.5.
Yeah.
So here he
He had
is.
he had like the very specific model they only made for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Is
The one where they actually had an optic on it when they sold it.
the 9138 short rifle.
Yep.
I don't know if RTI has this variant.
They
I
sometimes
think they
do.
might.
Yeah.
I think
A
yeah,
lot
they,
of
I think
times
they have
it's
them in like the
735.
individual.
Yeah, but most of them were in 735 that I saw. Because I was looking. I I was gonna try to make one because when I first started collecting I saw the optics for sale, so I was gonna base it all around like I'm buying the optics and I'll get the gun later, but the price went out of control, and then I ran away fast.
Well, at least 735 isn't unobtainium considering Steinel still does batches of them.
Yep. But just don't get that bad ammo. I forgot what it's called now. Was it precision?
Oh,
PCI?
was it? Yeah, PCI.
PCI.
Oh
Precision
yeah.
cartridge
Yeah, they're
or
pretty bad.
something. Yeah,
Because that's the
Yeah.
735 I had. I was like, ah, shit, I
Yeah.
can't shoot it.
I'm glad I only shot it in Arasaka before I realized I need to break this into components.
Some numbers here. The 300,000 M38s were made in 735, of which 94,000 went to Finland. So a third around, and 600,000 were made in 6.5.
Yep.
So
sounds
twice
about
as
right.
many. All right. Nice. All right. I was looking through an auction and came across a Remington Lee Navy rifle and a Winchester Lee Navy rifle. What's the difference? And were either used in large numbers by the Navy?
I'll take this one.
Yeah, it looks like that's like you.
The difference is almost everything mechanically, other than the designer. And both were used extensively by the Navy. So the Remington Lee actually goes back to the U.S. Army trials in 1879. It's the first instance of interchangeable box mags or box mags at all. Lee had the patent on that. Had some problems, so they updated it in 1882 and gave it back to the Army. The Army didn't quite like it, but the Navy loved it. So in 1885, the Navy adopted it as their standard service rifle. That includes the Marine Corps because they're under the Department of the Navy.
85. So the trap door was still the regular rifle, right? Okay.
Yeah, so the Navy had detachable box mags and basically like battle belts with spare mags. At the same time,
crazy.
the Army was using trapdoors. So that gun was like wildly ahead of its time. Britain also would get their hands on a couple.
Still, right? It's all black. That's still black powder.
Yeah, still in 4570. So this is all pre-Lebel.
Okay.
Still had mag pouches though. That gets me every time.
That's awesome.
But Britain liked him. Eventually became the Lee Enfield. The other one, the Winchester Lee Navy, which is usually the one that people mean when they say Lee Navy, was their smokeless sequel to it. It's a straight pull. It uses clips that are kind of neither end block or stripper clips. I called them pass-through stripper clips before. It is a rimless cartridge. People say it's semi-rimmed and they're wrong.
Such a radical design, though, compared to everything else.
Yeah,
they were using.
6mm back then is crazy.
Yeah, they were burning their barrels pretty bad, but they had 2600 FPS on a round nose bullet in 1895 is wild. Way faster than the 7mm quote unquote Spanish Hornet. Yeah, I don't know. They're cool rifles.
And you said they both were used extensively by the Navy. That was their main rifle and all that.
Yeah, the 1885 not as much in like major wars. They were used shipboard a lot, and they're just around. The Lee Navy, the 1895 Lee Navy, was used in the Spanish-American War. It was used in the Philippines. It was used in probably most notably the Boxer Rebellion. So if you ever hear about the 55 Days of Peking, they were using these actually rather than a lot of people think they're using Krags, but they were not at the time.
And
then,
these were on the main, right?
Yeah.
When they got sunk.
Yeah, and actually there were some trapdoors still on the main too. But that's the other thing they're kind of famous for is a bunch of them are recovered from the main and then sold to Bannerman, and then those pop up from time to time, and they go for like $15,000 or whatever.
And is the serial range solid for that? Because like I hate the Custer serial range is so variable. Such a variable.
No, it's very not solid. It's almost random numbers. I think they're all from the first contract. So the the 1895 Lee Navy, they made, well, they reserved 20,000 serial numbers, but they really only made about like 19,300 guns. So the first 10,000 went to the U.S. Navy. Then there was a 5,000 serial number gap that they didn't finish, where all the commercial guns were. And then there was a second contract for 5,000. So that goes from 15,000 to 20,000 in the serial range. So all the main guns at least fall in that first 10,000 rifles, but they're kind of randomly dispersed in that first 10,000.
Shit. But I did see a few that they say they have paperwork that it was, right? Isn't there some that have recovered from the Maine somehow?
Yeah, Congress had to approve the sale of these rifles because they were modern military rifles in service with an active warship within the year. So they listed off the specific serial numbers pulled off of the Maine and authorized for sale. So that list is out there. You can find it online for free.
All right.
Really.
That's cool.
There are some that are not on that list. I've seen people think that list was all of the rifles pulled off the Maine, but there were some recovered by like the ship's crew from the salvaging of the Maine, and then there are some in the Smithsonian that are not on that list.
Interesting.
So that list is only the ones that were just sold as souvenirs to the general populace.
Man. And they and as far as cost, I know the Lee Navy, but I don't. How much is the Navy,
Remington
the 85 Remington?
They were pretty close, although the 1895s have been going up in recent years. The 1885s are hovering around 1800 to 2500 range, I'd say. And the 1895 was like that until the last few years, but now they're pushing like 3,000 for a nice one.
It's heading over to where I'm just gonna have to see it on videos. Oh well. I have too much on my list.
They never get cheaper; they just get more expensive.
They do sometimes go a lot cheaper than that, but you really have to be watching the small auctions.
Shit. I have a lot of early Lees on my list. You know, as you look down, and Medfords and long Lees and and shit. I'm never gonna get there
fast. Yeah.
Cruxter, this is the question that we actually answered. So, but you can answer a different way here. I'm aware of the Polish WZ-29s and the few World War II variants they use, but is it true they also made a new production Gewehr 98 length long rifles, I guess, in the mid-30s? Why would they go backwards if true? And what were any differences between these and the long rifles and Gewehr 98? So yeah. Shit.
Well, the reason they went back is because they had too much vodka at the time. But no, if you guys go back to the oddities, I kind of cover it there, like the justification of why they went to the Gewehr 98 length rifles. And was it the second thing? What were the differences? Oh yeah, the flat tangent sight. Let's see what else. The wood stock made out of like
parade hook.
Oh yeah, I think they still had the parade hook on those.
Oh, how about a sling pass through? Because that's. Do I have a photo? Oh wait, look, you do. Wait, there is no sling pass through.
Hang on a second. I'm literally gonna go into my cabinet right now and grab one.
The Germans stuck with that for a long time.
So
putting that hole in the stock.
Yeah, they kept the sling pass through for the parade or that quick detach sling. And let's see. Honestly there's not a whole much else that's different. I think they have that WZ-29 bolt stop that has the rivet for the spring in it. But everything else it's kind of Gewehr 98M style where it's the flat tangent sight.
It is kind of wild that's 40 plus years earlier, that design, and it's still they just said they went to it like, fuck it, let's go back.
And actually I'm pretty sure that because that like mandate was adopted by the like the military doctrine of the time, they had like hundreds of thousands of Imperial German Gewehr 98s in service or in their stocks that they just kind of cleaned up a little bit and issued those out. So I mean, like I've seen photos from like the late 1930s where there's like soldiers out there with like the Langevisier like rear sights on their long rifles. So I mean, hey, if it works, it works.
Yeah, right. And if you have the ammo, fuck it.
Yeah.
And beggars can't be choosers when a war's right in front of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. That is our show, fellas. I think we've come to the end. I think we had a lot of good info. We were all over the place. We were back at the Hall rifle days, flintlocks. We were at some couple of SKSs and modern guns. And I hope we hit our goal that we taught someone somewhere something. Gotta be. So I want to thank you all for coming on, giving your time, sharing your knowledge, and hanging this long with us. Thank you, fellas.
Yeah, thanks. It was fun.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
And you're always welcome
glad y'all
back,
could join.
of course. And Kelly, sorry you're doing this from a hotel room in Fresno or wherever. Sacramento,
Yep.
or I don't know where the hell you are. Something to know at the end. Palo Alto.
Somewhere in California.
Somewhere. So that's it. So check out the YouTube for the video version, and you can go check out the Patreon for info on how to come on the show and join us and play some games and all that. Kelly, that's it. Enjoy the rest of your trip. Fellas, until next time, see ya.